Bobby.
So what are they? Well, they're having sex. So what were they?
They're not sex.
Moccasins. Who's a secret?
They're not moccasins.
Huh?
They're not moccasins.
Oh.
With this fucking tie.
Okay.
Are they biting?
Yeah.
Honey, let it go. Oh my God.
Jesus, the mouths are huge.
Please. Bobby, please. Oh God.
You're coming up with picture.
Yeah, come take a picture come take a picture with me while the snakes are like biting him, and like, leave those fucking snakes alone. What the hell is his problem? That's why I 1,000% believe that raccoon penis story. He 1,000% did that. Bobby, stop. Fucking, he was totally the kid that like was just, you know, needed a leash. You know, those kids that need leashes because they just literally are like in their own world. I mean, I'd be in my own world, but I'd be damned if I did some shit. My parents are like, "Hey, don't do that." And I'd be like, "Okay." Well, I don't know. I would still like fight it, but you know, I'd get in trouble. But jeez, dude, put the fucking water moccasins down. Leave them alone, dude. What the hell is his problem? Stop touching stuff. They don't want. They're over there doing their thing. Like you said, they're over there having sex or something. And then here comes Bobby. Here comes RFK Jr. I'll take a picture. Leave him alone. The hell is his problem? The heck? Dude, Cheryl. She cheerleads. I don't know where the cheerleading was. She was more like, Bobby, stop. Bobby. Pair of black racers from Dr. Oz's patio. Jeez, dude, like what the? This guy is crazy. Literally, is he? Fuck, bro. What in the fuck? Everybody's like, what the heck? What is wrong with him? What in the hell? I don't know, man. There's our government today. That's what they're up to. Well, you got bit a couple times at least. So I mean that happened. How are you guys doing today? Well, that's how we're starting the stream. Damn it, Bobby. And fucking around with like who brother. I mean, like, listen, I like nature and shit, but like if I see two snakes over there, like I'm like, you know, observing from a distance. I'm not going over there and fucking with them and then grabbing them and holding them up and then they're biting and then you still, I don't know, man. Like at what point you're like, okay, they clearly just put them down. Sitting there getting bit multiple times. He definitely is a multiple hand on the stove kid. It hurts. Ow. It hurts. Ow. It hurts. Ow. Sitting there just like, what's his problem, dude? Like, I don't know. Some people, like, they see dangerous animals like that, and they're like, I gotta go touch. And I'm like, no, you don't. Like, leave it alone. What the hell is their problem? Oh, what's this? This just in 39 seconds ago from Aaron Rupar. I do have some good news too that happened right before the stream started, but what's this? Dire approval numbers.
It is remarkable that with the president's approval rating at around 39%, according to the latest Fox News polls, he is able.
39. Oof. Golly. This is what the boomers are. This is what the right-wing boomers are saying today.
To, you know, maintain an ironclad support from, you know, across the party. Across the lines right now. Something that I'm not the first person to comment on that.
This is more evidence of the fake news media hating Trump's agenda. He was given a mandate.
Listen, he's well supported by the party base, and the base loves the president. The president's the leader of our party, and
the party base loves him, guys. The cult. The MAGA cult loves him, for sure. We know that.
When he makes a decision, when he comes out and endorses candidates, those candidates usually win. But no matter what happens, we're going to be there to make sure.
Usually? Really? We're really stretching the usually part. I mean, the reason why Massey lost is because Israel funded $30 million with their opposing candidate. And Trump was like, okay. But usually on his own, though, without a bunch of Israel money attached to it, Trump is like doesn't do well at all. Trump does not usually win, and he hasn't been.
usually win. But no matter what happens, we're going to be there to make sure we pick up the flag of our primary winner, and we're going to make sure we take them all the way through the November race to make sure that we're successful in winning this Texas seat.
We're going to win this Texas seat. That's the look of not confidence for sure. You do not look confident, sir. Not looking good. What else, Aaron? What else happened in the political world today here? She's wildly false. Based on what I've heard, we could balance the federal budget if the dollars that went out of the Treasury went to the individuals who were properly, lawfully, correctly eligible to receive them. We'd have some hard choices, including making some very tough trade-offs. Yeah, I got you. Trillions of dollars in defense spending. Yeah, there we go. We gotta cut the budget in at the lowest possible level. Like they're cutting it from the bottom instead of like at the top where the most of the money is and where most of the bloat. You know what I mean? Like doing actual, it's like these white nationalist fascist programs and slogans like Doge or America First and other shit, right? Like if you strip away all of the fascist part of it, like strip it down to what they think it means, it isn't necessarily bad to have like a anti-fraud or anti-bloat thing, right? Or have a third-party entity go and look into how the government spends its money and then decide, wow, we really should not be spending a lot, like Zoran Mamdani's doing in New York City. He's literally doing like, it's funny because he's literally doing like I guess MAGA type programs, right? Which MAGA was able to dupe people into this like almost anti-capitalist type of mindset or like anti-war. I mean, Trump was grifting a grift in 2024. It was crazy. But he really had people believing he was going to lower prices, but Kamala Harris would run on putting price caps or something, and MAGA would be like, "No, what the socialism?" And then Trump would just go, "I am going to just lower your prices of everything. You're going to pay lower prices everywhere." And then MAGA was like, "Hell yeah, Trump's going to my low gas prices, my eggs, my groceries," right? None of that happened. Because he's just a lying liar. There's nothing else. It's not like they were like the Democrats or something stopped him from, because his big beautiful bill passed. All of his bullshit has gotten through. So it's not like he's faced opposition in whatever policies he was lying about in 2024, right? He's been unopposed, and the Republicans control the entire government. So they have the Senate, they have the House, the presidency, the Supreme Court. So he's literally like, that's why it's kind of felt like, wow, this is crazy. They can do whatever they want. Yeah. That's why it's been like that, because the Republicans control the entire government. So it's not like Trump could argue that he's had opposition to his lower prices agenda, right? He just, because that was just a lie. Like he just lied. There's nothing else to it. Like, I'm going to lower everything. Nope. I'm going to end all the wars. Nope. All lies. Mom Donnie, thank you, Benedict, for the couple super chats. Right? So all lies, point blank, period. But if you actually like do some of the things that they're selling, I guess, but not in a bigoted, racist, fascist, white nationalist way, right? Whereas like, Doge was cutting all of like social programs or our soft power and NGO funding, which is all important, definitely worth looking into, I would suppose. But they are. Those programs are constantly have oversight and are constantly litigated because, yeah, that's taxpayer money going to people in need, right? So you got to make sure nobody's committing fraud on that or whatever. And like, oh, I need the money because I have sick people, but then you don't have sick people, you're keeping all the money, right? So yeah, but those programs do have the most oversight on them already. Could there be more? Sure, definitely. But like, the government program, like the Pentagon and or fucking DHS, for example, that is where we need to be looking into where we can cut our funding, actually. And like the militarized police force and like the amount of funding and taxpayer money that goes into funding And also, it doesn't make sense because as somebody that's served in the military, we have all this funding that goes to the military, but the soldiers get nothing. The actual soldiers that are serving get none of that money. You get old fuck ass uniforms, old equipment. The vehicles falling apart. Your unit might get one new thing of the batch of funding that happens, but but then when the budget cuts happen, it literally affects the lowest levels. Like when they are randomly like, okay, we're gonna do budget cuts in the military. It's like training and like actual shit that like the soldiers should be doing and like the funding that should be happening and like being in the field and like having better field training exercises and shit or like better funded that. No, all that money's going to the big missiles and long range weapons and abilities to fight for Israel in the Middle East. That's where all of the big bloated spending is clearly going. We're watching it happen. We're watching it happen right now. But as somebody that's served, they get when you're on the ground, you have dog shit equipment. And yes, the unit makes the best of it. It's like you make the best of your situation. Your cots are from Vietnam. It takes like a whole squad to get that thing in there. Some of them are bent and broken. And weapons, old ass fuck ass weapons. And using early global war on terror M16s. And it reminds me, it's like that beginning of. It's fucked up, and it's obviously not at the level and severity of the amount of death that was happening in World War One. But when you watch all Quiet on the Western Front in the beginning, and then you realize that they're just being given like dead soldiers shit and like old shit, it's kind of like it's like the U.S. military ain't too far off of that in terms of like when you first join, and then you're just given. You're not. I mean, at least the units. I was a sustainment, and I was a pogue or whatever, so I was a truck driver. I wasn't like special forces or like a ranger. Like, yeah, those guys are probably getting better shit because they're going to be in the heat of it right away. So they need to be given better shit. But in the regular army, like when you're just like a soldier, you're given the worst or like hand-me-downs that are just old and broken. And then your motor pool, like the amount of servicing that has to go into fixing vehicles that are just broken. But you got to keep running them on missions and shit. Like you can deadline the vehicle, but if the mission comes first, so you got to fucking people. I know mechanics and shit that had to stay overnight to fix some shit, to fix this truck that wouldn't even. But because we had nothing else, and it has to go on mission, they had to get it up and running at least to the point where it could. Like, oh well, you might have problems on the way, but you can get it there. It's like okay. I don't know. All that's funding that doesn't happen at the lowest levels of like the actual like groundwork of the military. Whereas again, it's just going towards the big missile programs or these civilian contractors or whatever. So there's a lot of bloat and spending in the government that for sure like a program like Doge would be good. But because Elon Musk was behind it and running it, it was never going to be good. It was always going to be a scam from Elon, and plus the majority of the country wouldn't trust it anyways because again it's Elon, and you have the richest man in the world litigating who's the same guy who's benefiting from taxpayer money with SpaceX and his other government programs. Really, like what world do we live in now? It's so stupid. Yeah, we for sure trust the richest man in the world to. That's why you need people unattached. It's crazy how much of a cult of a personality people can develop because Elon does have that too. Elon has like a big base of people like MAGA is for Trump. Elon has that as well. He's got a cult following too. It's just you don't see that one as much. You maybe saw it last year a little bit, but you don't see that one yet until Elon goes heavy into US politics, which he kind of did. Maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe 2024, maybe you saw it or last year, but you see more MAGA probably because Trump is the president and right-wing politics. Like I don't know, but when Elon, you'll see an Elon cult too, if you haven't been paying attention, or maybe if you are interested in space actually, and you actually like all that, and then fucking Elon. I don't know. This is the way I say. I feel like Elon and his little cult ruined that for me because I love outer space. I love space exploration. I love the Artemis program. I love what the scientists at SpaceX are doing with that rocket is actually cool, but like it makes it hard for me to, you know, it's just it just makes it hard for me to be around it, I guess. But so people do not like Elon. They don't trust him. So there's no way America would be comfortable with him litigating the government, especially like I said, when he's benefiting from it. But when you strip all that down, it should happen. We should have an audit of the Pentagon. We should have an audit of Department of Homeland Security. We should have all of this. All of that is good, but they're talking about in balancing the budget at the lowest level to like probably food stamp holders. Oh, let's just cut the soda out of the stores. That'll save money. Really? Really? Is it going to? Is it gonna save taxpayer money actually if you're stupid?
I believe, based on what I've seen and what I've heard, is that we could balance the federal budget if the only dollars that went out of the Treasury went to individuals who were properly, lawfully, correctly eligible to receive them. And that ultimately is going to be what we have to do as a country. In the meantime, because of the Vice President's leadership, you are seeing the most muscular, robust, aggressive, dedicated, determined, and speedy effort to shut down criminal fraud that has not only ever occurred in the history of this country, but in any developed nation. So thank you.
Thank you. So thank you very much. Fake. Fake. But what Mamdani's doing though in New York to combat bloat, waste, fraud, and abuse, and he found a bunch of, like, for example, as the mayor, he found the government, the New York City government had a bunch of contracts with abandoned buildings, and like taxpayers are funding literally abandoned buildings in the city. Cut that out. He made a video about it. He's like, "Oh, we're not doing that no more," or other wasteful spending that the government does. And a lot of people will make arguments, and good arguments, about our military spending. And it's a lot, and it's a fuckload of money. So we have all this money to continue to go to war, which isn't even for us at all. It's not even for Americans. Like, what the fuck's happening in Israel? I'm not in one way, shape, or form reflective on how our life is here in the United States, except for when we do bomb places like Tehran for Israel, our gas prices go up, our cost of living goes up, our affordability goes up because we live in capitalism and the corporations control the prices of everything. And when their flow of goods is fucked up in the Strait of Hormuz and the world and logistical core of everything fucks up because war, that's why we pay for that. But are we like, is Tehran in the sky in America right now? Is Iran? No, they're not. No, we don't have to. That's all Israel's problem. Okay, I'm tired, and I'm really honestly fucking tired of going to war in the Middle East for a country that actually doesn't give a fuck about us in this country, except for to take all of our resources and all of our soldiers and all of our people to go over there and fight and die for them for fucking nothing. Because Israel wants the West Bank, Israel wants Gaza, Israel wants Lebanon, and they want a greater, bigger Israel. And anybody that will argue, no, they don't. You're either paid by Israel or you're lying, because you're not watching what's actively happening in that section of the world when Israel's continuing to advance further into Lebanon, and the West Bank has been expanding. Gaza is literally wiped out right now completely. I mean, you got to be lying to yourself. There are literally people that will argue against that no, Israel is not expanding. What are you talking about? You're on bath salts, or you are literally probably a paid Israel fucking Zionist shill or something. You have to be paid, because you'd have to be lying. You'd have to be outright lying about what's happening on the ground. Trump is now, thank you so much for the 5 gifted from Polyphase. Trump is now daydreaming about fictional victories over Iran and getting pre-mad. He's getting pre-mad. Oh boy. I love when MAGA right-wingers get pre-mad. If Iran surrenders, admits their navy is gone, and resting at the... Wait, is this today? He already did a tweet like this the other day. All right. Here's the rules. This is Trump, right? Because so this is what's going to happen. If Iran surrenders, they have to admit their navy is gone, like I've been saying, and resting at the bottom of the sea, and then their air force is no longer with us, and then if their entire military walks out of Tehran, weapons dropped and hands held high, each shouting, I surrender, while wildly waving a representative white flag. And if their entire remaining leadership signs all necessary documents of surrender and admit their defeat to the great power and force of the magnificent USA, the failing New York Times, the China Street Journal, corrupt and now irrelevant CNN, and all other members of the fake news media will headline that Iran had a masterful and brilliant victory of. Didn't he write a tweet like this already? This is literally like, I swear he's literally written this already, like days ago. I swear, what am I cooked? I swear they did the same thing. That was on yesterday, Memorial Day. I love how Trump never said Democrats, but MAGA always has. Yeah, May 18th. He did. May 18th. He posted damn near the same fucking thing. May 26th. Let me check his Truth Social. Did he really post it again, or he posted these? He's reposting. He's reposting his postings. Does he know he's doing that? What the hell is happening? Hold on. This website uses cookies. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, he did. Just 40 minutes ago. If Iran surrenders, okay, he wrote that already, though. He wrote that on May 18th. So, what are we doing? Because do we know that he did? I gotta, like, hold on. Save image. I don't have it on my. I do all this on my phone, so. Aaron will repost it too. It'd be fun. Skabao. Is it the same exact post? It's the same exact post. It wasn't even close. Let me see. Hold on. The Democrats and media. It's literally a copy paste. Same exact truth post. I'm a retired grandpa. It's the same shit when he does his rallies. It's the same thing. Biden, we're the hottest country ever. Trans people, fucking the wall. The same thing. Same exact truth post. Literally same exact one. All right. We're tired of this, grandpa. When I think of somebody who's almost 80, I would think a little dozing off here or there to be kind of normal. Oh my God. Please don't do that. Don't do this media anymore. Don't. It is, but like, there's more, like, there's actual real life. I mean, this is, and the media did pay, listen, okay, in Trump's first term, they gave too much attention to, like, his health. Whereas, like, that, MAGA will just double down on that. That doesn't work. It works. It works. And I know it sucks because MAGA will spend all day about Joe Biden and his health and how old he is and shit. And that worked just fine, right? I wish it worked the same way, the opposite. I wish it did. But there are, like, real, actual big problems that Trump is doing. Like, do stories on his crypto. Like, you know who's cooking on Trump right now, actually? CoffeeZilla. And this is Void channel. Yeah. Investigate, like let's actually check this out, because fuck, I mean, I get it. I know Biden and Biden's health, but MAGA does not. They're hypocrites. They are hypocrites. They don't give a fuck. They know it made you mad because Biden old, and like, yeah, and like, it's not reciprocal and it's not fair and balanced. And I understand that life is not fair. Okay. But here is somebody actually going into, like, actual problems that the Trump administration is doing. We are too at this channel, but like, there are so many problems from this administration that we can't cover everything. Like, I got you guys on ICE. I got you guys on federal agent shit. I got you guys on the street protests. I got you guys on all of that stuff. But like, I'm not smart enough when it comes to stock trading and all the scams he's pulling off with all this. And CoffeeZilla absolutely is. So that's actually just 11-minute video. Let's check out CoffeeZilla's reporting on Trump's stock trading scams. Because also MAGA, I know, right? I guess I'm not, I guess, opposed to if there's like Democrats that are stock trading and knowing information that the public does not have access to. That's wrong. People like Nancy Pelosi and others that are well known for doing it, but it's not applied evenly across the board in terms of, like who is doing it. And the president of the United States is doing it. And he also has crypto scams too going on at the same time while manipulating the current stock market.
Investigated the president's trading record so you don't have to. Recently, he released a filing that shows the stock trades that were made on his behalf. I should say immediately that the president denies exclusively doing these trades. They say these are all done through fully discretionary accounts, independently managed by third-party financial institutions with sole and exclusive authority over all investment decisions. Neither President Trump, his family, nor the Trump organization plays any role in selecting, directing, or approving specific investments. Now, do we believe that? I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's personally directing all the investments, but what's strange is it rhymes with the Nancy Pelosi defense. Everyone knows Nancy Pelosi is a famously good stock trader, or specifically, her husband is.
My husband.
That's the whole excuse. She says, she's not into stock trading, even though, she has all sorts of insider information through her role as former Speaker of the House, as a Congresswoman. So people have been suspicious of her for years. And what makes this an ironic video is that this is something that Trump actually picked up on.
Exactly.
And kind of called her out for.
Members of Congress.
Same thing with the war. And Trump was like, there's no wars in the Middle East are bad. And then here he is as president launching a new one in Iran, right? So it's all hypocrisy when it comes to MAGA and Trump. But like the more you keep yourself in that and fight the hypocrisy of MAGA, that's when they have you. And they want to keep you there because then you're just fighting their hypocrisy and not doing anything new. Okay? The way you get out of that is by like stepping out of that and go and continuing anyways. And like let them fucking do their, because it's going to be hypocritical. And I promise you, as somebody that's fought that, like I have over these past 6 years, I fought people that are hypocritical and are like lying, and you just are in a never-ending cycle of he said, she said, they did. What about what they did? What about that? And MAGA will do that all day because they have, honestly, because do you know why MAGA is comfortable doing it? Because at the end of the day, they ain't really fighting for anything. They have billionaire power, control, party, and like they can just settle into their ignorance and into their comfortability, right? Whereas like others, right, you're fighting for something. You're fighting for human rights, or you're fighting for change, or like for the status quo to be different. So when you're doing that, you're gonna have more, they're banking on keeping you fighting their narratives all day and just keeping you there, because then you're never doing anything else. You're not getting around it, or you're not being able to continue on because you're like, well, that's not fair. I wish it were different. But the ruling class is a billionaire one, and it heavily favors the right wing. Okay, and the Democrats are a part of it too. I think some Democrats are Republican and just hiding, but it heavily favors people just being comfortable and like not wanting to speak out on change anything. So you can hit everyone with the hypocritical narratives all day, and then when you do it, it's fine. When they do it, or when you do it, it's a problem. When they do it, it's like whatever, right? And I wish it were different. I wish it were fair. I wish life was fair. How about that? But it's not. We know that, right?
Congress cannot corruptly profit from using insider information.
Now, it's funny, as you can see all the people from Congress standing up for that, but it's like, wait, aren't we calling out some of you in the room? Now, this is a line that they say every single time. We need to stop insider trading. We got to stop people from corruptly profiting on insider information. And then we get a big fat nothing. Every time, everyone, there's a lot of vocal support, in theory, and then nothing ever happens. Nobody ever gets stopped from doing this. But Nancy Pelosi is specifically singled out here as sort of the worst offender in Congress for these insider trading allegations.
But the president, the highest, can do it. None of this would have happened if Trump had his ballroom. This is all Biden's fault. True. Actually, that's true. That's where I think that's where MAG is at right now. That's like the baseline, response right now. You're right. I think that's the one. Biden and he Biden and ballroom.
Nancy Pelosi stand up if she's here?
Obama, Biden, and ballroom.
Doubt it.
Oh, we got it. We got it. You know, everybody has dunked on Nancy Pelosi forever, myself included, and rightfully so. Okay, she's one of the best traders of all time. In fact, there's even Twitter accounts you can go follow called Nancy Pelosi Stock Tracker, where they follow the specific trades of her husband, and you can basically participate in the insider trading allegations once they're disclosed, which is a little bit late anyways. But that same account, interestingly, has recently taken over to talking about these new filings that Trump had to do with relation to what he has been purchasing, because there has been a super unusual pattern of not only a lot of trading of various stocks, but also like Trump has gotten into shilling specific stocks, sometimes even with ticker symbols. And the Financial Times specifically did this incredible chart where they showed that, you know, the amount of trades has just exploded recently. And this all coincides with, you know, the Iran war starting here. You know, the activity was ticking up right before.
Which is why I believe the war, it's like there's two things happening. There's a roar, like we're for Israel's expansion, but also these Truth Social posts, which is why it's a copy paste. This is to manipulate the market. That's why the same post from the 26th from today is the same one from the 18th. They're manipulating the stock market, and he knows he is, because the world reacts to this, because it's the United States. A real thing. We bombed the capital of Iran. We killed the Ayatollah with Israel. You know, that war is shut down the Strait of Hormuz. So that's like a real a real effect. But also markets react to all of this. And like when Trump puts out a fiery post or whatever, the market reacts. And I feel like he's manipulating it himself with these posts. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the same post, the same 2 weeks, Iran, 2 weeks. That's what this is. I feel that. So it's like two things: he's manipulating the economy and furthering war.
For that, then all of a sudden you just have a flurry of stock trading activity where previously you hardly had any. I mean, there were not that many disclosed stock trades. So it's worth looking at some of these. Now, I'll say there are just thousands of these purchases, sales. I don't know why all of a sudden this automated process or these independent institutions who are trading on the president's behalf would suddenly start trading now as opposed to like before where there was hardly any activity. We don't know that. But I want to zoom in on some specific egregious cases where we have trades happening around the time that there just are literal endorsements by the president. Let's take the one Nancy Pelosi Stock Tracker highlighted specifically, which is the Dell call out. Because on May 8th, the president said, hey, go out and buy a Dell.
Dell, go out and buy a Dell computer. Because they don't care about that. They care about this. They make a great product. They're not looking for any publicity. I give them publicity. They say, well, thank you very much. But
you guys going to have to get Dell computers in 2026? I don't know. Maybe they're back or something. Are they?
Okay.
Now, this is in response to some like Trump account, I think, contribution the Dells had made. That was ostensibly the reason. But then you look at the trading activity, and the people who were purchasing on behalf of Trump bought Dell $5 million worth on February 10th. And then more on March 2nd, more on March 11th, more on March 23rd. And then he endorses a little bit later, and you can see what happened to the stock price. This was an incredible trade, ladies and gentlemen. Double your money in a few months. I mean, you kind of don't see big opportunities like that unless you're, I guess, the president. Here's another great trade. This was highlighted by Judd Legume. He went through some of these things. I'm going to be referencing some of his work here, so I'll link it below. But I pulled the specific trades and put it on a chart so you can see exactly where the purchases were. This is Micron Technology. And you can see here, the purchases are in the green arrows. And all of these purchases culminated in the president talking about Micron as an incredible...
So I know this is a lot of boring money stuff. Boo. Where's the flashbangs? Do me the tier. But this is all important. This is how he's scamming the government and taking in all of your taxpayer money, and all that shit is being spent in these stock trades, and he's enriching himself. He is in office to enrich himself and his family and his friends. He does not give a single flying fuck about American taxpayers and like people that live in this country. He will sell us out to the highest bidder as president. Does not care. Does not care about you. Never has. He cares about himself. He only really cares about himself, period. End of story. But then, like, his closest friends that suck him off. And then his family, because he didn't even go to his own son's wedding, right? That's wicked. Whatever. Rich people issues. But didn't go to his own son's wedding, so doesn't even, like, I'd argue his closest friends, yes men friends, and then his family, probably. That's it. So yeah, boring money shit, but all this is very important to know.
Here, the purchases are in the green arrows. And all of these purchases culminated in the president talking about Micron as an incredible company. And then all of a sudden, the stock goes parabolic after that. I mean, just has this incredible run right after the president's endorsement, which sounds like this.
I just left the head of Micron. It's one of the hottest companies.
Now, I'll be honest, he kind of called this one like crazy. Like, look at this run up right after that. Almost called the bottom exactly. And I guess the question is, does he know something here? Is it the endorsement itself that was, you know, caused it to run like that? Should we view it as advice when the president talks positively about a company to go invest in it? I mean, these are all questions that come to mind when you see a chart like this. But not everything is so clear cut. Black and white, right? Where the president buys, the president talks, and then it just goes to the moon. Before you set up your Trump stock tracker account, it's worth looking at a couple examples where things don't go so well. I want to show you one of the kind of bad ones. This is Thermo Fisher. So on March 11th, the White House announces that President Trump participates in a site visit at Thermo Fisher Scientific. This is March 11th.
Some great information about this incredible company, please.
And when you go to his disclosures, turns out he had been buying Thermo Fisher prior to that, including, by the way, on March 11th. So there's a purchase on the same day as the president's actual visit. The purchase, you can see there, March 11th, and it was apparently for $15,000 to $50,000. The nature of these disclosures is they don't tell you exactly how much was purchased, they just give you a range. But when you line these up on the actual trading activity, this actually is a pretty bad trade. Like, this does not end up going well. That, of course, doesn't mean it wasn't corrupt, just like when things go well, it doesn't necessarily mean it was corrupt.
Right, like yeah, it was corruption regardless.
But it's worth emphasizing that, like, some of the time, there's just money being lost here. And then now let's talk about probably, I think, the most egregious example and also the funniest one. This is Palantir. So Trump famously tweeted out the stock ticker symbol of Palantir Technologies, like PLTR, has proven to have great warfighting capabilities and equipment. Just ask our enemies. President DJT. So everyone thought this was really weird, and then it gets weirder when you realize the president was a bag holder in this stock. Like,
Sheesh.
He had bought high and then started selling low when the stock went down, which is, you know, always a good move. He starts buying when it rallies as it goes up, and then it dips way down. And this little moment is when the president, like, shills the stock. Which I think is, you know, really bad. I mean,
buy Palantir. You're suck right now.
Again, maybe he had no idea he was sitting on a bag of Palantir that had just dropped. You know, that's definitely possible. But you know, the record is just pretty ugly here.
He's committing so many fraud and scams, you just can't keep up with them.
Say, well, you know, buy all-time high, sell low, buy more, shill at the lows, and then it keeps kind of going lower. I mean, I don't really know what this says.
He's bad at, like, he's bad. Has he ever been good at business though? He's good at scamming people and getting real estate shit, but like all of his businesses have failed. Like they all lose money.
But I don't know if it is our president. I don't know that he's a great stock trader. If it's a third party, I think the third party is not necessarily, you know, a great stock trader. You know, but this just all looks really ugly. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to see. You don't want to wonder whether your president is, you know, tweeting about something because he's pumping the bags of stock portfolio, or if he actually means something. And this is the most lukewarm take. I mean, you noticed when the president was calling out Congress, everybody stood up, including Congress, because it's just an undeniably obvious position to hold. No one could possibly disagree with the idea that you do not want corruption, right? And so that's why we're giving the biggest Worm Award.
Oh, watch
Jim
this.
Cramer today.
Watch Jim Cramer try to, because he's a MAGA.
Ladies and gentlemen, because this guy had the opportunity to call this out. Just basic stuff.
He went into RFK Jr. mode.
Like, hey, maybe the president shouldn't trade stocks. And not only is that an obvious take, this is also a segment called Squawk on the Street in CNBC. I mean, their job is to talk about
short
the squawk
circuits
on the street. The whole idea is you're talking about the scuttlebutt. You're talking about the opinions of the day. And all of a sudden, this slow ball down the center of the plate, why do you have to do? What do you say?
What's the president, the U.S. government got in. He could sell it and give that
and
the
according
number.
to the filings, the president's been trading some intel in the quarter. Yeah.
Trade.
Got nothing to say about it?
Yeah.
What?
Short circuit.
What was that? What was that, Jim Cramer? One more time. Got into some brainworms. I heard the president knows a thing or two, right? No.
The president, the U.S. government got in. He could sell it and give that
and
the
according
number.
to the filings, the president's been trading some intel in the quarter. Yeah.
Trade.
Got nothing to say about it?
Got nothing to say about that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Did the guy short circuit? I mean, is he falling apart? The last brain cells of Jim Cramer dying in slow motion? Is his trade?
Trade.
I mean, speak, Jim. I like how this guy, he has a big old
Nothing
fat
to say?
smile on his face. He knows this is uncomfortable for Jimmy.
The tap, too.
Hello.
You know,
I invest.
it's a little bit of fraud, you know? What the fuck? Sorry. Computer webpage went down there.
Trade.
I mean, speak, Jim. I like how this guy, he has a big old fat smile on his face. He knows this is uncomfortable for Jimmy.
Yeah.
All right, don't worry. We're not having technical difficulties here, everybody, but we gotta go.
Whoa! Did they just close the segment like that? Like, hey, Jim Cramer short circuits live on air when asked about presidential trades, and we just go to break? Like, isn't this Squawk on the Street? Don't we discuss? That's the whole idea of the entire show. That's why this show literally exists. Unbelievable.
Jim Cramer's balls are in the MAGA vice. That's why. You speak against the king, you're gonna get crushed. That's what I told you guys from the beginning. If you actually read history, the people that are like in the cult and are in the inner circle are gonna find out first. And people will that push against it will too. Or like protest it or something, as we've seen. But like the ones that face the like silent killings and like assassinations like are people that push against the grain of if you're in the inner circle already, or like if you're in the inn, and Jim Cramer he's MAGA, so Jim Cramer can't be on CNBC saying Trump is doing sus stock trading. That's why he's like, then they cut to break. It's like, what the fuck?
We gotta go.
Jim, we'll see you tonight.
I thought we were the, financial news guys. Are we
No.
afraid to talk about financial news?
Yes.
When it's the president all of a
Yes.
sudden? We're not willing
Yes.
to talk about it. That's all.
Yes, because they will kill you. They will do the same thing that they accuse the Clintons of doing forever. The Clinton crime family, it'll be but it's the Trump one.
Limits. Making fun of Nancy Pelosi, that we all stand up for. Everybody stands up for making
Hey.
fun of Nancy Pelosi,
Hell
myself
yeah.
included.
Hell yeah.
But all of a sudden, it's the president. We can't talk about it.
No.
What's going on, guys? Is this North
It's hypocrisy, and that's the way America is. Why it is. We have both sides, but one's hypocritical as fuck.
Korea? I mean, what's happening? You ask for comments from the two groups, and it's like very similar.
Hypocritical fascism.
Both say, hey, we have nothing to do with it.
But that's fascism by design, though. They're not supposed to admit any L's or any wrongdoing. That's why it feels like they're like a train that can't be stopped. But like you're on one that's like on fragile ground, because they will lie, cheat, and steal and not admit any defeat or not admit any wrongdoing ever, no matter what. Okay? That's how fascism works.
I don't know why we don't just treat apples to apples here, right? So yeah, I just thought this was obviously dumb. I mean, when you investigate it, it looks like some of these trades go great, some of them go terrible, like Palantir. You know, some of the Thermo Fisher ones are not good. Dell Technologies did go well. Micron Technology went really well. It's just kind of a mixed bag, but an ugly one. You know, I personally don't want presidents, Congress people, anyone in Washington should not be holding anything other than an index fund. Why should these people be able to pick stocks if they're regulating the industry that those stocks are in? Doesn't make sense to me, but I think things are a bit different in Washington.
All right. So that's CoffeeZilla on investigating the president's stock trades, and it's certainly not good. That's certainly bad. Trump's invasions of blue cities played a key role in driving his approval numbers down to their current ghastly lows, but he wants to do more of them. Teen takeover in Chicago, 5 officers hurt. They need our help. No, they don't. They don't. Anything new before we go to other stuff? Does Hassan, they're talking about Hassan. Okay. Hassan's the topic of the news today. President Trump is economic champion of the world. What the? Okay, a bunch of Fox News clips. So seems like boring political drivel. The real reason Tulsi Gabbard resigned. Susan Collins had a role in it. What? This is from Ken Klippenstein. Susan Collins doomed her along with Cheney and Rumsfeld. The specter of national security. Oh. Okay, when Tulsi Gabbard resigned this last week, citing her husband's death, the battle immediately began to shape the narrative, saying it was due to clashes with Trump over Iran or her husband's cancer or whatever. These stories all have one thing in common. They cast Gabbard as a martyr, but that isn't what happened. If you look at what Gabbard actually did, the picture is less flattering. She oversaw her National Counterterrorism Center move into purely domestic matters, which is contrary to its original design. The intelligence budget went up. The surveillance state tightened its grip on the American people, with Gabbard presiding over an intelligence community, striking up alliances with private companies, including social media giants. The real story is one of defeat. It's the story of an intelligence chief discovering she wasn't really in charge of much, and a national security system that strangles reform with such ease you almost have to stand in awe of it. Gabbard's title, Director of National Intelligence, was created in response to public outrage over the intelligence community's failure to prevent 9/11, but because of member agencies, CIA and the FBI, did not want to answer to a higher authority, the position was rendered so toothless and symbolic that one former DNI himself even called the position neutered. The CIA's in-house journal, Studies in Intelligence, recently published a remarkably candid 20th anniversary retrospective into the Intelligence Reform and Terrorism Prevention Act of 2004, which created the DNI. The lead essay is written by the senator who authored the law, Susan Collins. Collins opens with a reference to sausage making. Remember that old saying that there are two things you never want to see made, sausage and legislation? In this article, I'm going to provide an insider's account of the sausage factory in Congress, a behind-the-scenes look at how the most significant intelligence reforms in more than 50 years became law in 2004. Okay, so you can read into it further. So it had more to do with like internal intelligence community drama. You could go read Ken Klippenstein's article if you want to read the rest of that. So so she got pushed. So it was a neutered agency because of how much power other agencies are getting, and then pushed out because she had like a political role. She was like used as a political domestic MAGA versus Democrats stuff bullshit, and when in positions in the government, in what Tulsi Gabbard was supposed to do was supposed to not be political. But guess what? Can't have it both ways, because Project 2025 explicitly states that these roles are to be filled by political partisan people. Right? Roles that were not previously supposed to be political or like partisan or Democrats and Republican stuff. It like that Project 2025 was to destroy that and make them all yes men, women, right? Okay. All right. Well, let's get into some other serious news. Let's continue on. Everybody check into the stream. How are we doing today? You had a standoff with ICE in New Jersey yesterday and this morning, and I did text John to make sure he was good. John Farina from Status Coup. He said he's running on no sleep. I told him to make sure you're resting because they were out there with Status Coup news in New Jersey. Protesters clashed with agents outside New Jersey ICE facility. Inside, detainees continue their hunger strike. Okay, so there's a hunger strike going on. Anger is building over conditions at an ICE detention center in Newark, New Jersey, where protesters are gathered a day after their charged demonstration turned chaotic. Protesters at Delaney Hall, a privately owned 1,000-bed facility where inhumane conditions have been alleged for months, blocked unmarked government vehicles, and tussled with armed, masked ICE agents, including some who used gas canisters and batons. Video from... Okay, so they get... Looks like you're going to have... You got Scooter Caster out there with Freedom News. So here's some of the clips from yesterday. Yeah, make sure you guys go follow. These are this for following. Well, follow me too for ICE stuff. But this is on the East Coast, so like Aaliyah and Status Coup, and you know everyone that was here with me. It's easy to get to Newark, New Jersey for them. They live in New York, so getting to those scenes are a little faster. I would like to get out if this continues, though. I haven't been to the East Coast covering anything at all. Goes to show we're not out of it yet, are we? We had like a little, well, the last month or 2 months of like downtime, I guess, or pause. Not really. Oh, that's right. I was in DC. I was like, I was participating in that though. I wouldn't argue. I was less journalist and more advocate or act. I don't know. I was doing advocacy work last week. And like using my media to highlight that, but this is not like covering this. This is different. Calm down. Jesus. What the fuck, bro? Settle down. What in the hell is that? And see the shit I'm talking about with these feds? In no situation did this require you to get up there. Like you have these are journalists up here. Oh my god, dude. Relax. Holy fuck. Wow, really? Oh, dude, wow. So strong, so brave. Wow, dude. Aura, oh my god. Shit. It's the same shit. The same shit we saw from these feds in Minnesota.
You were negotiating with them.
American Trucking Sim better get a ICE protest update. And then off they go like the cartel. What the fuck? What the fuck? And off they go. Came in, fucked everyone up, looked like shit, and then leave. Yep, nothing's changed. Yep, looks the same. Looks the exact same from Minneapolis and Chicago and everywhere. Like, and then Rambo over here. Look at this shit. Look at this. Oh my god, bro. And then what do you do? So cringe. You are, oh my god. And it's even cringe when you know that what's even a layer of cringe is ICE agents are not supposed to be this. Like, I understand, I absolutely understand the argument of abolishing them at this point, definitely. Strip that back to what they were before they were given this budget and like what they're doing now. These are admin role feds. They have some that will go out like the tactical units, but that was specialized shit. Not like what you see with these ICE agents wearing everything you see now. They're admin roles. So to see them it's so cringe. And then obviously, you know, the way that they get to behave now and murder people and just, it's so terrible. Terrible all the way around. Oh my god. Detainee was released an hour ago. So some of the detainees that were participating in the hunger strike. This is coming right from Amanda. Obviously, you guys know Amanda from Freedom News TV.
Guys, I wanna say something. Geo company, not the ICE. ICE different, Geo company different.
No.
Geo company is company.
They put billions of dollars into the Nazis administration. They don't bullshit.
But they work. They are good people.
Interesting.
I'm a Trump lover. They work here. That's racist. They just assume. Yeah, they just assume that they got racist.
Okay, so you got looks like a dichotomy of like the prison company, because we have privately funded prisons, but guess what? The federal government funds it. So what's the difference? That's a yuck shit situation we have in this country, and that's what's gonna fuck us in the end, is because you got the corporations that are like attached, and like people say, well, don't just corporation workers. They're working for the federal government, silly, whatever though. But that's what you just saw is what will hold us back from like, you know, not getting out of the status quo we're living in. It'll be like, oh, the workers and they're all a part of it, dude. You see those fences? You see the barbed wire, the funding they get from the government? Oh man, it's gonna be tough out here, man. 5 hours ago, looks like there were some more clashes from New York City people. They just see how they just straight up saved this person from getting, like, they were putting the cuffs on and they like pulled him away. What the fuck? Chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys want to. Should we get to? We got to get there, huh? We're gonna have to get to New Jersey this week. Like, ASAP. We gotta tap back in.
Move your car, you're blocking traffic. Back up, guys. Back up, guys. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up.
You fought a bunch of women today. You fought a bunch of women today. Unarmed women. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Ice out. Ice out. Ice out. Ice out. Ice out. Ice out. Ice out.
Yeah, Jordan. I know Status Quo. That's their bread. That's their area though. Like they're all anything East Coast. Make sure you guys follow Aaliyah. You follow Status Quo. Follow Jordan Charlton. Follow John Farina. That's like That's their backyard over there. So it's just easier for them to get out and go do that. Similar to like why I was able to be one of the first ones here in Minnesota, right? Because that's literally my backyard. I live here. So that's why, if you're wondering like, why were you most watched in Minnesota? I live here. It's just easier to get there faster. Whereas in other parts of the country, when things happen, obviously we have to plan for travel and like where I'm going to stay and all that shit. It's just a lot more to deal with.
Ice out. Ice out.
So I think like I need anyone that's been paying attention to these to just send updates into the Discord. And if it's going to be this situation the rest of the week like that, then we should get out there. My thing is if it's already died down, I don't know what the situation is right now. Is Status Quo live now? However long the hunger strike goes. They had Reuters was out there this morning. Reuters was out there this morning. Let's see what it looked like at the end. So this is 3 hours streaming. What did it look like at the end? Wow, that's a really tough area, man. Look how much traffic there is. Holy fuck. Like the Portland, and it's so cringe because in Portland, Trump and the right wing would make it seem like the Portland ICE facility is like in the heart of Portland and like blocking. This is like literally look at all this freaking traffic. Yeah, it's semi trucks driving right past all. Oh, geez, dude. So you got a little bit of a crowd out there. It looks like no live coverage of it though, huh? That's what's missing is live coverage. Obviously, Status Quo will be out there. I think I could text him and find out. It's an industrial area. The name of the detention center is Delaney Hall. Is this like, this is a area of common protest in New Jersey, right? Please, I am not tapped into any East Coast activism, really. I don't know why I'm not. It's on a big, heavy, busy ass road. BG's been out there. Yeah, BG's fine, guys. Personally, he doesn't moderate his chat, and that's a personal choice of every individual like streamer because that's our ad revenue, right? Like it's my personal choice because I have a community I have, right? Like, I have a little bit more, I play softball. I have a gaming stream, I have more, so I don't want to open the door up to that, trolls and like just have it just be unfiltered. That's my personal choice though. That does not mean that's the standard that you should expect across the board because I'm hurting myself by doing that. You guys understand that, right? With by filtering out those trolls and filtering out MAGA like that, those chats only help my stream get out there more because the chat rate's fast. They're providing data. That's just like strip it down. Obviously, they're providing data points in my chat that help the algorithm of my live stream, which then result in more ad revenue. Obviously, I get paid more. So by not filtering that, you know, they're doing what they're doing and providing coverage, and the loud chat and the whatever is paying that person for being out there. Okay, and it is what it is. Some will have a filter and filter it out, and some won't, and that's their choice. I do, again, because I have a community. I try to help. I don't know. We try to provide funding to stuff that needs it sometimes. Like we do a little bit more, and that's fine. But that, like, you know, people like BG are able to be live all the time. Like there's these live. I'd argue he's live way more than I am on the streets, because, like, you know, just kind of dialed in when you're only dialed in on one thing, which is like hit the live button, give the best coverage possible, which he does. Best coverage, best clips, you know, of like happenings on the ground. You're not worrying about community building. You're not worrying about moderating. You're not. That's truly is probably a more blissful existence as a streamer content creator, because it is a lot. Ask any of the mods in my chat or any of the mods in my community, and they will tell you how much work it actually is. It's a lot. So the existence of having a free-for-all, fucking no filter, whatever, is far easier to manage as like somebody that's doing it, but not good for building a community, though. Definitely not. So it's a balance. I do it, others don't. It is what it is. And same with Status Quo. I think Status Quo has modding and stuff on their chat. They don't have MAGA trolls in their stuff. And if they do, they will, like, here and there. But I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I've loosened it definitely over the years, because yeah, I need it. Like, you know, I don't want an echo chamber, but, you know, yeah, it hurts me when we filter the chat and stuff. But at the end of the day, I do need a little bit of a filter, because I don't want, you know, absolute Russian bot, Israeli bot, MAGA bot, or real people that are just fucking fucked up in my chat, just like making it look terrible. You know what I mean? Like the perception, like if somebody's new to my channel, I don't want them to open my chat and just see a bunch of racisms and bigotry and be like, oh, is this what Mercado Media is? Because that's how it works. That's how life works, perception. So I don't want to have a negative perception on it. So that's why we do have at least a filter for people to express themselves. But if you fucking come across crazy in the chat, you're probably going to get timed out or something. Or if you're just egregious with it, like attacking people in chat, you're going to get, you know, nobody's going to want you around. So, because again, I have a Discord server, I have other stuff going on. I want people to come watch my softball streams. I have gaming stuff going on, and I want, if you like what I got going on, I want you to do other stuff too. And probably aren't going to want to come hang out if you know that we're just having racist loser trolls just exist. And it will happen though, because like sometimes, like we have like 400 people tuned in now, but sometimes we have 13,000, like that Jake Lang day in Minneapolis. There were 13,000 people on YouTube, and that is just impossible to moderate. Impossible. So for sure, it will happen. But yeah, there's nothing wrong, you guys. There's nothing wrong with BG at all. Like, he's not MAGA or anything like that. He just doesn't filter his chat, because he would just be hurting himself for being able to be live as much as he is. Because that's the truth. He is live all there. You can add revenue up the butt, probably. Just constant chats, and it helps that way. That's why when I look at my chat sometimes and we're like hanging out, it's like, man, dude, I can have all these people that would be leaving hate comments. At least I'd rather take than having no chat flow at all. You know what I mean? Because as a streamer, that's how it works. If your chat dies, your stream is not getting out there, and ad revenue sucks. And it's like, why? Right? And it's like, oh man, maybe the hate trolls, you know, they at least help my algorithm out. You know, if you support the stream and you're not leaving chats, it's like, you know, at the end of the day. But so that's the balance though. But it's a balance for sure. And I hope that we navigate that at least all right compared to everybody else. But in terms of BG, you shouldn't worry. He's not a Trump supporter. He's not MAGA. He's a really cool dude. He's a hard worker. He's on the ground all the fucking time. And if he's not, he's got somebody out there doing it for his stream. And he provides one of the best streams you can find. Okay. So yeah, don't worry about him being MAGA or anything like that. But yes, his chat is unfiltered. It is an unfiltered chat. Definitely. I don't think he's been live today though, or he was earlier, 2 hours ago. I know, like I know, and the reason why I've talked to and I know all of these streamers. Like we sit down and like eat dinner and talk for hours, and aren't just like social media. Just know each other through social media at this point. Like we actually know each other, especially being in these situations. So a couple hours ago, you still looks like a heavy presence of federal agents with the minimal credit. It is Monday or Tuesday though. Yesterday was Memorial Day, so a lot more people were able to be out. I guess this is like before I pull the trigger on getting plane tickets and stuff, because I gotta, again, we're in time management mode too now. When it came to this winter, it was easy to do whatever because, you know, that's where the news was. So I think we just monitor this situation. There's already a lot of journalists there. I provide a stream though, so that's the advantage. That's why, like, I'm okay with if I see a lot of journalists, and because I do a live stream, and there's only like what you got, Status Coup, BG on the scene, and you know the local streamers that do a good job that are out there always, and I don't know them. There's probably some great local New Jersey streamers on TikTok or whatever, but in terms of the ones you guys probably know, like there's only a few. So that's the advantage that Mercado Media has, is like, even though there are a lot of journalists, I provide the stream, so at least you'll have a live feed of what's happening. And there's so few that you can trust, I guess. Okay, well, it looks like this is the end of so BG and Reuters both cut their feed. So I think we'll monitor that one, and if it picks up again, or if more people show up, or if it stays like this through the week, and then we'll probably maybe be there this weekend. If it looks like this by Friday, I'll be there by Friday. If it still looks like this tomorrow and the next day, at least see the situation. We live in this administration where the situation can change at the drop of a hat now, so it's hard to commit to, I'm gonna go out there, and because it's easy for me to just say, hey, go follow this person or that person, because they're already there, and it's like I get there and then something fucking happens, or in a different part of the country, for example. So that's the only thing I'd be navigating is this good use of the time for us to get out there, if it's still going, and if it's still similar views to this. So just keep me updated in the Discord if anybody wants to monitor this. You know, I got my other streams I do and stuff, but if anyone wants to hyper focus New Jersey and support BG on the scene streams and Status Coup, then let me know if it's something you guys want me to go out and cover. This is the Associated Press from 2 hours ago.
You know, we came Sunday night because we had heard one of our constituents, they attempted to remove him earlier in the day. We've been working with him and his wife, who's 4 months pregnant, for the last several months since he's been detained here. And he's been one of the individuals who is, you know, leading the efforts on the hunger strike to raise awareness about what's happening inside, who these individuals are, what their stories are. Healthcare and access to healthcare is almost non-existent, despite what Geo Group says, and the food continues to be abhorrent. So the conditions aren't such that, in my opinion, they can be fixed. And for all these people who don't have criminal records,
especially, let me rewind it. Especially if you guys are connected, I have what's called untreated ADHD, and I need to have lots of factors lined up for me to commit to doing a thing. Okay, right? Like knowing that, hey, like, you know, so that's just all. It's probably myself holding myself back. But send all the information you have around it. If it's going to be a daily thing where people are going to go out there and organize, then I'll get out there and get the stream going. But you know, I gotta understand factors. I have to have, like, you know, a blanket here of like what I know I'm walking into, because I've also never I've never done coverage in New Jersey. I was in New Jersey one time in my life when we went on a band trip, and we had our hotel was in New Jersey, and we went to New York City every day. That's it. That's all my, and then Max Payne, playing Max Payne video games. That's New Jersey for me.
Says, and the food continues to be abhorrent. So the conditions aren't such that, in my opinion, they can be fixed. And for all these people who don't have criminal records, they could easily be returned to their families on an alternative to detention. We're an ankle monitor. They could easily be added here if ICE wanted to do that, but they don't want to do that because, in my opinion, they're trying to break people inside this facility. DHS is using their defined term of a hunger strike only occurring when people have missed 9 consecutive meals. And so that is when ICE says there's not a hunger strike. They're using that definition as their justification. But the reality is there are people inside who are refusing to eat, which makes it a hunger strike.
Wow. Well, I only take up one spot, so that's the advantage of me. Is I don't have a whole media team that needs to set up. It's literally just me and my tripod. So I only take up one spot. That's why it's fine when I travel and go places, because I don't take up a lot of room. I don't have a lot of equipment I have to bring in. It's literally usually just me and my phone. Or now I have that new camera in the live view, but even then I'm wearing it, so we'll see. All right, so let's monitor that. This is literally just within the last few hours. All this is happening. So I request community monitor the situation in New Jersey and let me know. Let me know if you guys. I know just let me know. Let me see anything else on New Jersey or when the circumstances in this place are so bad. Let's check this out from MS Now from 2 hours ago. Some more context around New Jersey.
Right now, protests are underway outside a private ICE detention center in New Jersey, and inside, about 300 people are reportedly on a hunger strike over what they say are poor conditions, including rotten food and inadequate medical care.
That makes sense, because that's the same reports we were getting out of the Whipple building, and not just immigrants that were in there, but also protesters that were brought in there, or media, or like when Georgia Fort was brought in there, like arrested and brought in there. Renegade Chunga says my ADHD has something to say, but I'm over it now. I feel that.
Clashes have erupted between protesters and ICE agents over the past few days. You can see one person here being dragged by their arms across the pavement. There it is. No, that's not it. And yesterday, Democratic Senator Andy Kim says he was pepper sprayed. Now, DHS Secretary Markwayne Mullin is calling the protests a, quote, political stunt by New Jersey sanctuary politicians for fundraising clicks, and denying reports there even is a hunger strike inside.
It's projection, because that's what the federal government's doing. These are political stunts to feed their white nationalist base. Oh, the mass deportations are continuing. Oh, God, hell yeah. While we're still at war with Iran and gas prices continue to rise, and the Epstein files unreleased and covered up, and murders in Minneapolis, covered up, all that. So I guess we're back. Don't worry. And then they're gonna make videos, and then are we gonna have let's check it. Do we have DHS videos already again? Are we back in it? 2025, winter 2020. No individuals are directly struck by pepper ball projectiles. Here's a video of me being pepper sprayed directly in the eyes. DHS says on May 25th, rioters are rioters. And then the right wing says any protest is a riot. So get that. Also, you guys should push back on all that. Anytime you see a false labeling of a riot, when there's no riot happening, push back on that. And then honestly, you guys should file scam claims on YouTubers that do this, because there's a lot of right-wing streamers and YouTubers that do this, and they will say they did this in Minnesota, right? The Minneapolis riots. There was zero riots. There's zero riots. Not a single riot happened. I have been in riots, multiple now, and not one has happened. And the last riot I saw was in Kenosha, Wisconsin, of like just pure anarchy, property damage, just destruction, and taking your anger out on buildings and stuff. That was Kenosha. Oh, sorry, January 6th, 2021. But I guess that doesn't count to MAGA when they raided the U.S. Capitol building and like broke windows and beat police officers and wanted to hang the vice president of the United States and threw poop and ketchup all over the wall. Yeah, I guess that one doesn't count, according to MAGA. Every time like I get into it and they'll go, without counting January 6th, name a time of right-wing violence. No, you can't count January 6th because that's the Democratic agenda. That's a fake day. Democrats made that day up. No, it was Antifa did it. But yeah, we're also going to pay $1.8 billion to everybody that participated in it. We're going to pay Antifa.
MS Now's Mark Santia is outside the facility in Newark. I also want to bring in former HUD Secretary and 2020 presidential candidate Julian Castro, and staff writer at The Atlantic, Ashley Parker. Both are MS Now political analysts. So, Mark, what are you hearing on the ground there?
Oh, Chris, we have seen tensions flare up here a short time ago. Take a live look behind me. You can see protesters as well as ICE officers. We did see protesters shoved to the ground by ICE officers. We also saw an ICE officer injured and taken away limping from the scrum. We have not seen any arrests. Tempers have since cooled. About 24 protesters are standing together today outside.
John texted me, "You coming?"
Delaney Hall, telling MS Now there is no place they would rather be today.
What's the weather?
Why is it so important for you to be here?
Because I feel what we are doing in this country is so unjust and inhumane. We are ripping apart families. We're causing tremendous hardship. And we all have a duty to speak up and not be complicit in this very, very cruel system.
There are reports of a hunger strike inside by some detainees against what they allege are inhumane conditions. DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullin saying, quote, there's no hunger strike at Delaney Hall. There are no subprime conditions. Now, a public records review from our investigative unit, Chris, has found ICE's own internal watchdog had previously flagged issues during an inspection here at Delaney Hall last year. The inspectors flagged 12 detention standard issues, including some in food service, and recommended the agency work with the facility to resolve them. We are reaching out to ICE to see what changes were made, what the results were from this inspection last year. Chris?
Thanks so much for that. So Democratic Congressman Rob Menendez was able to actually get inside the facility and just spoke to my colleague Ana Cabrera about.
All right, if I'm going, I'm gonna need support. I haven't done on the ground coverage like this now, obviously, since Metro Surge, and it was easy for me to do it because I lived at home. No, John retext. He said, "Are you coming?" Just back in. Just when I thought I was out, they bring me back in. My gut's telling me to get out there, you guys. To New Jersey. Thank you for the 5 gifted, Satellite. Thank you so much. If you're new to the channel. I do these type of streams in the in-between times when I'm not on the ground. I would much rather be providing on-the-ground coverage of what's going on than sitting here at home. So if you're new to the channel, you can scroll back, but I covered ICE raids here in the Twin Cities and Chicago and last year. So it'll just be a continuation, picking up exactly where we left off. So that's the reason. So if you're new today, welcome. And it's not like I'm trying to get support to go do this because I'm interested. It's like, we do this. And also we're a part of hey, listen, if you guys have anything, I know a lot of you guys tune in from the Twin Cities, but things are happening in the background. Hopefully we're going to hold some of these ICE agents accountable. Okay. And a lot of my coverage that we did is going to help in that. Cause I mean, I was live for like fucking this stream's 6 hours long. Like, this is 7 hours long. So they have, the state Minnesota has hours and hours and hours of coverage from what happened, and they're going to be using it to hold some of these federal agents accountable that were out there doing crazy shit. So if you have anything with that, just send it to me, email it to me. Any information, like if you saw federal agents out there, you know, stripping rights away or brutalizing people, send all that to me. Because the state, as you saw with the lies from North Minneapolis, what was it? Hold on. ICE North Minneapolis. Just like you saw the ICE agent who lied, and you have the Hennepin County Attorney's Office investigating that. They're investigating everything. Okay, it's just taking a long time because there's just so much information and data to go through. But it is, I mean, hopefully we'll be able to provide some accountability and help some of these investigations into what the federal agents were doing. So that's happening. That is happening for sure. So if you guys have stuff, if you live in the Twin Cities and you have photo, video, and all that all helps. And if you have the agent on there doing it, then send it. Okay. Oh, what do we got going on over here? What the heck? Thank you. We got satellite with we got 100. Says we're getting the band back together. Thank you, Frank. Sure, it seems so, huh? Thank you, Alexandria, for the 20 to help. I don't know why I don't have noises on right now. I do take breaks. I do. I've been taking the longest break, I would argue. Not really. Break, if it's longer than a week, it feels like a break, but really quick. Shameless plug while I'm mentally navigating leaving and going to New Jersey tomorrow. I do have a gaming channel, though. This is what I do to break, right? So I play video games, and I have a stream. I have a softball channel. You know, we do other stuff. And there's my softball channel. You know, a lot of people, and we have a good amount of people that support it and tune in. Obviously, not as much as my main channel, but that's fine. I don't care. So, I mean, I do other stuff when I'm not out covering ICE or doing what is happening in New Jersey. And I have to. Like, I have to keep moving. I have to keep doing something. I don't just sit still, but, like, sometimes it might not be constant, like, news because I get overwhelmed. Okay. Thank you so much, Jana, for the 5 gifteds. And then if you need travel funding, hit me up. Happy to help. Thank you, Summer Holiday. Yeah, definitely. Okay. All right. Let me look at this thing here. What are flights looking like? What would it be to Newark? From Minneapolis, St. Paul to Newark, New Jersey? What's that airport like? Give you guys an idea of how much this flight. So if, obviously I have to leave tomorrow. I don't know when I'll be back. Just one-way flight. I need a return flight though, don't I? Can I just do a one-way? Yeah, one-way. Ooh, scary one-way flights. When you don't know you're coming back. Yeah. Fuck, man. Not bad prices. Fuck it. Here we go. Fuck it. Fuck it. I have to do it or I'm not going to do it. I have to commit. We can't have this half-ass shit. All right. Well, I ride out at dawn. What am I booking? Yep. We're going. People need live coverage. $25 to protect my trip? You guys are wild. I did say this is what we're going to do, though, in this administration. So we're actually just doing what, you know, and you got to be flexible. It's like being in the military. I do have a backpack and everything like ready. I have all my shits all ready, so it's like no big deal. And I'm not packing to go hang out, so I'll just bring t-shirts and basic work. I'll be working, so it'll be work clothes. Jesus, dude. Oh, nice. Not bad. All right. Well, if you live in the East Coast, I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Yep, back out there. People that aren't tuning into my daily streams are gonna be like, what the fuck? What, you didn't tell us. Well, I told the people that tune in. That's how it always happens. Like tomorrow we'll probably have thousands watching. Just wait. This in the chat, there'll be thousands. And they'll be like, he's back. We didn't know. But like, this is how it always works. That's what happens though. Like if you do content, you're gonna have downtimes. All right. I'll be in New Jersey tomorrow. Acknowledge. Tap to check in. I'm checking into my flight. Thank you, Melody, for Jersey. We're going to Jersey, I guess. Okay. Yep. All right. Looking forward to it. Yep, it'll be probably, so I'll be set up around, well, before this time tomorrow. Obviously not going to say when I leave and all that shit, because I have weirdos that watch me. But it will be tomorrow. Yep. And just finished the check-in. Yep. All right. There I go. All right, I got a one-way flight because I don't know how long I'll have to figure out my lodging too. I'll talk back and forth with John. Now I got to spend time looking into the geography and what the nearest places are and shit. All right. Well, I will be in New Jersey tomorrow covering the protest against ICE at the facility. We'll see how long I'm there. I booked a one-way ticket. I don't know when I'm coming back. It could be a day, it could be multiple days. I don't know. Thank you, Blonde Bombsheller. We need good coverage here. Yep, looks like I'm coming to Blonde Bombsheller's neck of the woods. Yep. Yeah, it's booked. Done. I'm in there. So if you live in New Jersey, maybe see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Maybe. I don't know. It's daytime. Looks like a busy area, so don't come out and just come out to say hi. Like, wait. It looks just like a busy traffic area. A lot's going on. Yep. All right. So we'll see that. We'll see that area looks like soon. Looks like a big like industrial area. That's why we see so many trucks. This looks like a American Trucking Sim delivery. This is where you deliver. Delivery area. What are my channel demographics? I don't know. I guess we could look. I think it's definitely changed. Analytics. Let me see. I'll show you guys. Audience. Here you go. So top demographics will be 68% male, 31% female. Oh, it's on live streams. So mostly 25 to, I mean, honestly, I have people 25 and older, basically. Mostly from 35 to 64. But even then I have 15% is 65 plus, and then 11% is my age, which is pretty good, actually. I don't have the youth I have the youth. 70% in the United States. Nearly 5% in Canada, 2.3% UK, 1.3% Australia. You got Germany, Sweden, the Netherlands, Russia watches my stuff apparently. It's awkward enough. Were you thinking that I had a non-US based audience or what? Of course I do. Formats your viewers watch. Everybody watches everything. Look at that. Watch time. 89% from my subscribers. That's why I do well on YouTube. A lot of YouTubers, this ratio is the opposite. Whereas like not subscribed is higher than they're subscribed. It tells you everything. So you guys watched Agenda. You guys all watched that. Some of y'all watch the Enforcer Clown still. It tells on you. So y'all are some of y'all are definitely still watching those two. And Iced Michael. Yeah, I know you guys like I know you guys like Steve. You guys obviously like Status Coup W. It's like you guys like secular talk, huh? I feel like I'm Mantis from Metal Gear. Oh, you guys like the Enforcer, huh? Still, you guys watch DJB, you watch Don Lemon, obviously you guys watch my gaming channel because I make that happen. There's like BG on the scene, obviously. Greg Terry, Combat Veteran Reacts, Let's Go Starsky, ATP Geopolitics, and Chris Norland. So that's what you guys watch. Yep, you guys watch those channels apparently. What a mix! What an honestly mix of channels, from Steve to Secular Talk to the Enforcer Clowns, Iced Michael Grifter, and Don Lemon, some gaming in geopolitics. You know, a little bit of everything. There you go. That's what you guys watch. I don't control that one. That's what you guys do that. You guys do that part. All right. There you go. I got the trolls think that because we're not right-wing conservative MAGA, therefore we are not from America. Survey says 70.6% of my audience is. And that's in the last 28 days too. Go back to all time. Lifetime. Numbers and charts. Wow, 66% of my audience is from America. Then we got Canada. Then we got the UK. Then we got Australia, which I already knew I had a significant Australian base. And then Germany. There you go. So that's all time forever since I started my YouTube channel. 13 million views from America. And then it drops to Canada, which has given me 1.5 million views. Then the United Kingdom to 1 million. And then Australia's at a little under 650K. In terms of how many views I've gotten from what country and where. All right. Did that answer your question? You're wondering, it can't be from America. He's saying anti-Trump stuff. It must have a foreign audience. So they said about Hassan. Hassan's got a foreign audience. Promise you not. I promise you not. Okay, so here's some more Mamdani. So I'm going to New Jersey, so we're locked in. So I feel like I don't need to say much else. We'll find out, I guess. So we plan that. Going to New Jersey. Kind of want to start gaming earlier now because I'm going to have to lock in and be in front of ICE agents again. I get tear gassed and shit. Or at least eating they got pepper balls, so at least we're gonna eat pepper balls, but I got my mask. So there looks like there will be munitions if ICE uses them. All right. I will try. Well, I will certainly try. Well, I don't know. Thank you, Allie, so much for the New Jersey support. Nandas gave 5 coffees. I got you, Nandas. Thank you for the coffees. Thank you, Melody. Everybody for the support on that. All right. So we're going to go to New Jersey ourselves, even if it's for a day or 2 days or however long that goes. I bought a one-way ticket. I don't know. All right, let's see what Mamdani says about affordability.
You know, I see the Trump regime now also bragging about kicking people off of SNAP, kicking people off of Medicaid. Their big announcement also, the housing and urban development will be stopping emotional support dogs. Yeah, no emotional support dog. That's what they're considering their dubs. That's their wins right there. And so it's using government to harm people, to take away. Whereas I think you're showing a model that works in New York City and nationwide. Can you talk to New York City being a model for government working?
You know, wherever you live in this country, people come with an anxiety about the first of the month, because they don't know if they're going to be able to afford their rent. That is not just a New York City specific problem. It is one that people feel coast to coast and everywhere in between. And this is a vision for a city where we make it easier for people to actually afford to live here. Make it easier for people to afford not only an apartment that they may rent, but even dreaming of becoming a homeowner. And so much of what you're speaking about when it comes to federal policy, it's completely divorced from what any New Yorker is actually worried about. What people are worried about is what we're actually acting on, which is how to make this city affordable and how to actually ensure that housing isn't some imaginary dream or fantasy that people have that they could one day afford, but it's a reality. And the way we do that is by putting the full financial muscle of the city behind that kind of a vision. We're incredibly excited to be doing that today.
Look, and as a...
All right, so Mamdani combating affordability. The war on affordability. There it is. We just talked about that a little earlier. The good news that came in at the top of the hour of the stream, I should say, well, almost 2 hours ago, is the South Carolina news. Okay, South Carolina Senate. Sorry, I spent a little bit long on the New Jersey stuff because now I'm going. So we figured that out. South Carolina Senate does not act on new midterm map defying Trump. With early voting underway, it became clear there was no longer enough support to use new lines before the November midterm elections. So Trump's not going to get South Carolina redistricting before midterms. The South Carolina Senate abruptly adjourned Tuesday without taking up a new congressional map that aimed to eliminate the state's lone majority black district and cement an entirely Republican delegation. By refusing to act, lawmakers defied pressure from President Trump and national conservatives to wade into the country's redistricting wars before the November elections. The state Senate failed to pass a motion to stop debate on the map, signaling that with early voting already underway on Tuesday, there was no longer enough support among Republicans to push through new district lines before the state's June 9th primary. Instead, the Senate agreed to adjourn, effectively punting votes on a new map until after the primary. The vote ensures that for now, South Carolina will remain among the outliers in the South. Other Republican-led states have raced to respond to the Supreme Court's weakening of the Voting Rights Act by diluting districts where a majority of black voters have repeatedly elected Democrats. John just texted me back, fuck yeah. The band is back together. But in South Carolina, the prospect of throwing out thousands of ballots, nearly 45,000, will be cast by 3 p.m. Tuesday during the first day of early voting was enough to prevent enough Republican support for new district lines. It is likely that South Carolina will return to the debate for future elections. Leaders in Georgia and Mississippi, where primaries have already been held, have signaled that they want to redraw their own district lines in time for the 2028 elections. After the Supreme Court's ruling last month, pressure escalated for lawmakers to slice up South Carolina's only majority black district, which has repeatedly stood behind Representative James E. Clyburn, a black Democrat. Mr. Clyburn, 85, is seeking an 18th term in Congress and remains a powerful political force. Right? Obviously, the greater argument was the stripping away of voting rights that black Americans have had to fight for decades. And that's happening in multiple states in the South. So this is a big win against that effort, which is we're seeing success in places like Tennessee. But even as Mr. Trump and his allies pressured the South Carolina legislature to join other lawmakers across the country and shore up Republican advantages ahead of the midterms, it's gonna get like I might as well get used to it anyways. I don't know. I shouldn't be getting comfortable no matter what. I'm not trying to become comfortable, chat. It's more like just trying to reset my brain. Like I already told you guys, if you've been watching my stream, it's like, you know, there's going to be an ongoing effort to be on the streets and covering what's happening. But these midterms coming up are going to be spicy, right? They're going to, Trump and MAGA are going to fight tooth and nail against the inevitable, which is defeat. Okay. The MAGA, like, it's likely going to be a blue tsunami of Democrats. And in order for that not to happen, they're going to have to cheat and change the maps or put ICE agents out there and try to physically stop people from going and voting. That's the only way that they're going to stop from what's going to happen on these elections. There were worries about rushing a process that might not withstand a legal challenge. On Tuesday, with lawmakers and constituents alike casting their votes early, it became clear that those concerns were enough to preserve district lines. Neither my conscience nor my common sense will allow me to stop an election that is already underway. A Republican from northwestern South Carolina speaking on Tuesday, he added, "Many of us are also frustrated and disappointed in what is a very unsatisfying outcome, but we need to face it." State Senator Brad Hutto, the Democratic minority leader, said in an interview that Democrats had worked all weekend to make sure thousands of voters flooded the polls on Tuesday to send a message, both visually and politically. The people in South Carolina was sending us a message that their vote mattered. It was important that they didn't want to cancel their vote. It's a short.
And nothing has made me more incensed than to see this kind of imposition on the people of South Carolina. This White House says, to hell with the process. To hell with the Constitution. Just do what we want done. And that's what has us here today. It makes no sense. And South Carolinians should reject this. And nothing.
What we got here from MS Now, an hour ago.
There's also this news from South Carolina. The Senate down there, the state Senate down there, has denied Donald Trump's request to redistrict. And listen to what one Republican, State Senator Richard Cash, said in a press release. "I can no longer support the passage of this bill for one simple reason. South Carolina citizens are going to the polls today. Neither my conscience nor my common sense will allow me to stop an election that has already begun." I don't want to say it's surprising, but in a moment like this, when we are, seeing how far Donald Trump is able to push lawmakers to get what he wants, somebody standing up for their own conscience, it stands out.
It does stand out, and bravo to that senator, and bravo to the Senate Republicans who pushed back on this.
It's crazy that that's the standard, though. Isn't that wild? Oh, you didn't literally cancel elections in this country and literally end democracy. You get a pat on the back. The same thing with the few conservative Republicans that stood against Trump on January 6th, and then they were called Democrats or whatever, like Liz Cheney and others.
Look.
Or Mike Pence, for crying out loud.
A torrid history on race and voting. And a lot of those state legislators now know that they are going to be on the ballot in this cycle and next cycle. And they're going to have to account to those voters. The African-American vote in South Carolina is not alone. People think that, oh, this is just black folks pissed off about voting rights. No, it is American citizens. Many of whom were part of that long struggle to get these rights secured. And so now to see not only the Supreme Court, but state legislatures, particularly in the South, give credence to this idea of the South rising again and what that means and what that sounds like to a lot of voters. It is refreshing to see this type of pushback. Bravo. More of it, please. Thank you very much. We need consistency in this moment, in the spirit, as well as the letter of what this is all about.
All right. Talking to John about logistics for tomorrow. So really good news there that the rejection now it needs to happen in Alabama. So that's really good news for voters in South Carolina. Right, the attempt to redraw maps, that's all gerrymandering to try to rig the midterm elections. Adjourned. There you go.
It's just into our newsroom, a big story that we've been following. We got an update at the top of the show. So here's the headline we have right now on our website. South Carolina Senate kills attempt to redraw congressional maps this year. Now, the body decided not to go along with the map that had earlier been approved by the House, a big story that we've been covering. So this has been a controversial effort to redraw South Carolina's congressional districts ahead of the 2026 elections. Just want to throw this in here. Today is the first day of early voting when it comes to the primary election. So again, this is effectively dead after the South Carolina Senate rejected this motion needed to advance the bill today. So lawmakers, I mean, they spent days debating the proposal during a special legislative session called by Governor Henry McMaster. So this is, just to give you some context and perspective, this is not exclusive to South Carolina. We've been seeing this in other states, especially across the South, other states where they have come in, legislators and lawmakers, state lawmakers come in and redraw congressional lines. Now, the measure would have redrawn the state's 7 congressional districts and made the 6th congressional district, which is currently represented by longtime Congressman Jim Clyburn, more favorable to Republicans. So again, I just want to reiterate, and the big headline, the big story is that South Carolina Senate kills the attempt to redraw congressional maps this year after it was approved by the House. Again, a lot of debate surrounding this, a lot of questions, especially as we are now within the window of voting in the primary. Early voting.
Okay. Damn, that would have. So they were trying to get the maps to change while you're already in the process. You're already in the what the. I'm understanding that more because, like, you guys gotta understand, there's so many layers, and I'm trying to understand so many factors of this. You know, it'd be like around. I'm not, like, at the end of the day, I really should just put all my brain power into ICE and the response to them on the street and be out there like I am tomorrow. But I'm also trying to understand all this other stuff happening too. Okay, so it's already. That's why the Republican Senate did the right thing, I guess, at the very last moment. They're going to be cast out now. Trump will go after every single one of those Republicans' political career. Call them Democrats. Have the base attack them or show up to their house with a hammer. Try to kill their significant other. That's what MAGA does. Election results. What happened in Texas? Yeah, the special election. Who won? Texas primary runoff election results. Ken Paxton, the Attorney General, was endorsed by Trump. Oh. Fighting for his... John Cornyn is fighting for his life in a primary runoff on Tuesday that will test whether his spending advantage and incumbency can hold off a MAGA-aligned challenger who is Ken Paxton, who was endorsed by Trump. Mr. Trump's backing has been decisive in Republican primaries this year, demonstrating his enduring grip on the party. But Mr. Paxton, the state attorney general, has been tainted by scandal, and some national Republican leaders have warned that nominating him could put the seat, which is not. Because Texas politics is also, not what you would consider like the national politics either. You might, because it's red state, you might just be like, oh, red state conservative people. It's like, no, it's there's nuance within Texas for its politics. So internally, they're like, yo, hey, listen, you're gonna give James Talrico an upper hand because Paxton is not popular, no matter, even amongst the conservative base. Ken Paxton is not popular, even within, like, obviously you're going to have the MAGA cult, which is what will support whatever Trump says. But in Texas, you got a lot of just good conservatives, and like they do not support Ken Paxton at all. They will go with Cornyn because he's the Republican. But by pushing Ken Paxton, you're going to give an advantage to Talrico, who's going to be the Democratic challenger. So that'd be interesting. This race has been the most expensive Senate primary contest since 2018. Trump threw support behind Mr. Paxton after successfully ousting Republicans he viewed as insufficiently loyal in other primaries, including Representative Thomas Massey of Kentucky and Bill Cassidy of Louisiana. Trump's decision, but it's not just Trump's, like, he doesn't have like a golden tie. It's his funding he gets behind it. In addition to the marquee Senate race, Texas voters are also deciding on primary runoffs in a number of U.S. House contests that resulted from redrawn congressional maps, including one pitting two Democratic incumbents against each other. Texas set off a national redistricting fight last year when it engaged in unusual redistricting in the middle of the decade to help Republicans try to regain control, because they have to cheat because the country does not fuck with Republicans, actually. Democrats, the winner will. So what else to know? For the Democrats, the winner of the runoff will face the Democratic nominee, who is James Talrico, a state lawmaker and seminarian who has prioritized outreach to independent voters and has shown himself to be a prodigious fundraiser. New word today. What the hell does that mean? No, that's a new word. Remarkably are impressively great in extent, size, or degree. Okay, new words. Mr. Paxton, a conservative firebrand, has been accused of adultery by his wife of 38 years. He's been indicted and had the charges dropped, and he's been impeached and acquitted. But in his quarter century of public life, he has never lost an election. U.S. House races. Texas Republicans redrew the state's congressional maps last year in an effort to flip 5 seats and keep their party to keep control of the House. The new maps created several inter-party battles. Democrats are contending with runoffs and newly redrawn seats in Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio, while 2 Republican contests pit candidates endorsed by Trump against those backed by Governor Abbott. Wow, what a shit show. Damn. It's like everyone's pitting them against each other. And then Republicans will also decide who should succeed Mr. Paxton in a statewide race that has been notable for a deluge of negative political advertising. Representative Chip Soy, who has at times broken with Trump, that's why he's Chip Soy now, faces State Senate Mays Middleton, his self-funded opponent. A billionaire, probably. Self-funded. Got to be a billionaire. American businessman. Chip Ahoy. Yeah, he's been around for a while. We'll see. Yeah, well, I mean, this is the Republican side of it, but then they're going to have to go against Talrico. They already had the Democratic primary. Okay, so it looks like a shit show. You got Greg Abbott's endorsements against Trump endorsements. You got Cornyn versus a Trump endorsement. You got Democrats going against each other in a district in which they were together. Now they have to campaign against. That's correct. It's wild. A lot going on with the redistricting. And again, like, both sides do it, but you got to be honest, in which the Democratic Party did when Biden was president and didn't go anywhere, obviously, to end gerrymandering. Gerrymandering should be ended, because then you don't have this type of cheating shit before the election and like trying to redraw maps at the last moment because things are going bad for Trump. When Biden was president, Democratic Party did put that up for did want to have that put into law. Never went anywhere, though. Never went anywhere to end gerrymandering. So that's why we're living in it. That's why gerrymandering's happening. Both sides do it, yes, but only one party of the two has tried to end it completely. And Republicans did not join the Democrats to end it. Wow. Thank you, Minnesota Timberwolves. There you go. 6-7. Just what we needed today. No, it's actually a reveal, but June 7th. What does that mean? The New Jerseys? They're gonna go back to the early '90s ones. I hope they keep those, and then the black pine tree ones, the ones that they have now, the black jerseys with the pine trees on them. All right. So Texas, what do you got? No results in yet at all. You said MAGA forgets America's forefathers fought against a royal narcissist who God found separation. Now that's you've already said more words than they even they'd even care. Fuck Jerry's and their mandering. I agree. Ken Paxton believes that he is the smartest person in every room that he finds himself in. Well, that's kind of like MAGA, though. It makes sense. He's backed by Trump. We have 0 numbers coming in from Texas. When does the polls close? I wonder what type of numbers are going to even come in from this. Local elections suck. People do not vote in those for some reason. People do not vote in those. I was surprised. I thought I was going to be able to play this till tomorrow, which is good because obviously I won't be home tomorrow now. But we'll be able to play James Bond in a bit. What else we got? So good news from South Carolina. You had a lot of so yesterday obviously is the 6-year anniversary of George Floyd being murdered by Derek Chauvin in Minneapolis. And yesterday, obviously, it was Memorial Day. A lot of people were, at home or off or kind of away. And I didn't make a post yesterday because, well, first I woke up and saw what was happening to every single social media post about George Floyd yesterday. And major right wing social media accounts were finding any post about George Floyd and trying to brigade it and send their rabid trolled followers to go and attack every single post about George Floyd. Okay, but for me, George Floyd was murdered 6 years ago yesterday, but I didn't get involved into anything until 6 years ago today and tonight and tomorrow and the next day. So what George Floyd, that was very much more than just a singular day for me. It's George Floyd truck driver. But yeah, it was like a whole week long. A couple weeks right away, and then the whole summer was protesting to demand justice and accountability for George Floyd, but also for just police brutality that we kept seeing over and over again. And it was wild that whole year we had more viral police murders. It was like George Floyd was murdered in the most viral international Facebook live stream viewed thing that we could see at the time, and then more there was more. It's like the protests were out there, but throughout the year and then into 2021, obviously back here at home, we had Dante Wright murdered by Kim Potter. Okay, and ironically the same week that we had Derek Chauvin's trial. So that those efforts are still ongoing. We had justice for George Floyd, and Derek Chauvin's in prison, and that was a whole process, right? And so the court cases, but there's still, people are still being gunned down by the police. That's why when Renee Good and Alex Pretty were killed by the feds, you had activists that were very known from 2020, from the Black Lives Matter protests. They were out there in the anti-ICE protests, and they were speaking out like, hey, this is a systemic issue. Like, it affects local policing and also could reach the federal level. And the same behavior, if not held accountable, it's just going to be the whole system of policing as a whole, whether it be local police, state police, the sheriff's department, which you guys saw how the Hennepin County sheriffs were acting around the federal building. And then you have obviously the federal government too, and how we just saw how they're acting still to this day. We'll see it more tomorrow. Okay, but you guys saw that all winter. But that's why you had those 2020 Black Lives Matter activists out there speaking out about this still, and why it's still a prevalent thing. We have photos up. We'll have photos up too. Chris June was out there yesterday at the event, but also I don't know, maybe this is just a me problem. And I was out there last year on the 25th, and like every single year. This year, I guess like mentally, I feel like, I'm not like in a position to, pause and reflect, right? Like, I'm like, I'm going to New Jersey tomorrow now. We're going to be right in front of whatever what's happening at that facility. This winter was brutal. We had a very brutal winter with ice. And even last year, going back to Chicago, I have Chicago viewers, and we were in Broadview, and the brutality that Bavino and Border Patrol brought to the Chicago area, and Los Angeles at the start of the year, or in Portland, Oregon. So many places, and I feel like I'm in that still, and I know I am because we're going back into it tomorrow. So it's hard to like pause and reflect. I don't know, and it's a me problem. It's a me problem for sure. And all of this happened. I haven't even reflected on Ukraine, and that's still happening because Russia's still invading it, right? I feel like I don't have room to pause and remember and reflect when like we're still in it. Like it's not like I feel like maybe when I'm 60 years old, maybe, or like 40 or 50, who knows then? I don't know. Maybe if I live that long. But it's hard. But all week though, like today we did a post about it, and I'll be doing one all week because also when George Floyd was murdered, that's when Mercado Media started. And with George Floyd murdered and covering the truth around that and being out there on the streets, I wouldn't, in a fucked up way, I guess Mercado Media wouldn't exist. It sucks that it had George Floyd was murdered to have me get out there and cover what was happening. But, I did with the best I could. I just did the best I could at the time. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm live on Facebook and covered everything that happened right after George Floyd was murdered. And then also stuck with it through the protests, through the peaceful protests, through the trial. And we covered all of it, the whole story. It took a whole year of riots and protests and being in the street and all types of, and that honestly, that whole experience pulled me out of being right wing. And then seeing it end at and then ended in January 6th, right? And Trump not leaving office. It started here, kind of. Actually, for me, it started when Kobe Bryant was killed in the plane crash, when he died in the plane crash. And I was in uniform still. I was at, it was a reserve unit. It was a reserve weekend. So we were in the Army Reserves. We're in the room because each platoon had their own room. So I'm in my Army uniform, and I'm sitting there, and I get the news that Kobe Bryant died in a plane crash. I'm like, what the fuck? And like all of us were shocked, like because in the military there's a lot of sports fans. Okay, so that's just how it goes. So they're like, what the, like, I couldn't believe it happened. Like honestly, it kind of took the wind out of the rest of the day. Like, we had Army stuff to do, but the news of Kobe Bryant dying was like, geez, dude, it kind of changed the whole day. And then obviously COVID, and then the lockdowns. And then from then on, it just kind of went on from there. But it's wild because I feel like that from that moment, and then COVID, and then we're just like, I feel like I'm in this new phase of my life that hasn't really ended. Like this chapter of my life started then because that was the last time that was actually the last day I wore the Army uniform too. I haven't worn the uniform since that day. Like COVID happened, and then I got my honorable discharge because like we couldn't go to the unit or whatever. I had to sign some paperwork one day. I went in there and signed paperwork, but I was kind of Army career ended because COVID, and you have to keep all my. They didn't even have me turn in my equipment. Like I got a whole tough box full of Army gear still. I got 2 Kevlars. I got knee pads still. I got Camelbacks. You guys need anything? I got you. But I have my rucksack still. I have all that shit. I have everything. They didn't take anything back, dude. I swear they didn't. I had to, when I left active duty, I had to go to supply, and it took a whole day damn near, and I had to turn everything back in. And it was a whole stressful thing. And the reserves, I just, here's your DD-214. Here's your honorable discharge. Thank you for your service. See ya. And I have all my shit still, and my uniforms and everything. But that was the very last day I wore the Army uniform, was the day Kobe Bryant was killed in the plane crash. So I don't know, just kind of reflecting, but you know, I feel like I'm still in that phase, and it hasn't ended, and it's just like George Floyd killed, and then protests, and then riots, and then Ukraine, and now Trump is back in power again. But you know, we got feds everywhere, and it's like I haven't had a moment. Even though I take breaks in between all this stuff, I haven't really had a time to think back on everything. But I will be doing that this week, though. I do make posts every year. So I will have posts reflecting back on that time. And if you're new to my channel within the last, you know, few years, because you picked up on a story that we've been covering, I do have this all on my YouTube channel. I re-uploaded those days. Where do I have it? Remember the Brooks trial in Wisconsin? Where are we at here? Yeah, here you go. You can go back here. Minneapolis, Minnesota riots and protests.
Hey, is it a whole building on fire?
Right away.
What is that?
6 years ago tonight.
You guys see what is going on there?
Just leaking.
What the fuck is that? Bro, what in the fuck is that?
You gotta understand, like, everything's on fire. So everything's on fire. It's just anarchy and chaos, and like there's porta-johns on its side, and you can see the porta-john juices leaking out of it, and then just this hand comes out of the side of the wall of the porta-john, and this person just emerges from it. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen, given everything happening around it.
Fuck is that? Bro, what in the fuck is that? These dudes just came out of the fucking porta-john. What in the hell? These dudes just came out of the porta-john, like.
And you gotta stand it back up.
What? Were they in there together?
Okay, so I don't know what was happening. So, and then you go around the corner.
We're walking further down. Oh, what building is that? Is that the building? What building is that? Oh my God. Whoa! Oh, we lost power.
That's how it went, and power went away, and it was just like everything was falling apart. Everything was breaking. Everything was on fire.
Hey, is it a whole building?
Just everything broke down. I thought the world was ending. Okay, so that's, you guys want to relive all that and go see. There's, I think how many videos I have in here? 52. What else happened? Even if it's just random stuff I was doing back then. There's peaceful protests in here too. We went to Seattle. Here's Portland, Oregon, 2020.
I'm bleeding.
We got fucked up. This is the first time I saw how bad the feds could get outside the federal building in Portland.
My goggles, I forgot.
That shit was wild. You're just getting gassed out there.
And then the
Squeaky
following
pigs.
weekend, and I'll ask this to my face. Okay, casually. Birthday! Happy birthday! Should we do we need to take a birthday selfie, bro. Like,
I was my brain was so cooked in 2020 because it's just like, I mean, what do? You're in this environment all the time. You're just gonna go crazy.
Hold on, is Eric here?
Because my gay best friend got beat up.
The message.
Because this one right here got beat up because no one was watching him, and I feel bad because I wasn't there.
I don't know. That's all Portland stuff.
Hey, is it a whole building on fire?
But there's more. Where's the? This is inside of George Floyd Square. Oh, this the seatbelt, Karen.
Interesting. We have
So she was telling everyone to wear their seatbelts because oh my God, people were just on the highway.
There's gonna be a documentary about this one day. That guy's got a literal fucking chainsaw.
You guys should all honestly rewatch all this so you can see what actual riots look like. Because for some reason, MAGA has been able to redefine what riots are.
Yes.
As to just people protesting, and that's not at all.
It's a chainsaw, bro. They are not capping down.
I can't listen to myself from 6 years ago. So this was tomorrow. This was 6 years ago tomorrow. on the 27th.
Someone's about to die.
So it was tomorrow then. It wasn't today.
It's a little war zone down here. Cops on the roof. I'm staying away a little bit. You see the police on the rooftop. This auto zone's been trashed. They ran through. This is crazy.
It was like
crazy.
It was like our when Vietnam, at the end of Vietnam, when you had the helicopter come on the rooftop, and you had the Minneapolis police were just up on top of it. I was like, are they gonna get extracted from the rooftop, or what is happening? That was the first time I've ever had tear gas before.
And yes, I am wearing a mask, everybody.
That was the first time because we were in this crowd and I had chats like, you have your mask on? And I'm like, bro, I do, but the situation is so much like.
Civilians on the roof, farther down, but could be cops.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yep, time to back up. Backing up a little bit. They're moving. Oh, they're throwing shit now. There they go. They're fighting back. They're fighting back. They're fighting back. Hold on. Hold on. Hey, Parrish, what's up? Hell no, Alec, I ain't going into that mosh pit, bro.
Now I do.
He's telling them where to go. Looks like they see everyone over here just recording. I don't know what's going on there, but I ain't going.
I didn't have any like masks or anything now.
Sound like it's gonna hurt.
I don't know.
Sound like it's gonna hurt.
They're running from something here. Don't run towards me.
But this is also why Minneapolis was able to handle the federal government like they did, because as you can see, there are literally thousands of people in the street, and this is probably also a lot of people's first experience getting flashbanged and shit like that, because it got worse. I don't know where my stream picks up from there, but it got like they were just throwing out all munitions at everybody in that intersection. Oh, hold on.
All right, we're back.
When was this one? Oh, this is when we were getting back. There's just thousands of people. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they're all the way up in there. So this is Target, everybody.
I didn't go in because fuck that.
There's a fire in there.
I don't really know.
Where did you park my guy? Hopefully your truck is in.
I believe I put the whole streams up though. I thought I put the whole because like I did. This is when I did vertical streaming and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing because I'm stupid. So it was all my vertical streams,
right.
or at least the clips.
It's all on fire now. It's on fire over there too.
Just like on fire.
Now this used to be a Wendy's. And then I showed you guys that nothing's happening over there. Yeah. Tyler's taking a little break. He's chilling. He's getting a charge back on his phone.
It's wild. I remember it like it was just yesterday.
Just rubble. Just rubble, bro. Literal rubble.
So that's why, again, if you see any MAGA or any right-winger that does a stream or does anything calling your protest against ICE riots, they're lying, because this was a riot, 1,000%. There you go. That's what the ending of a riot looks like, and all of the destruction you can see. Okay? But also, none of this was politically motivated. You guys understand that, right? MAGA will say, well, there's the summer of love, and that's Democrat riots. Nope. That was a riots because of a powder keg from police brutality not being addressed. and years and decades of police brutality not having justice being served. Also, the factor, and again, there's kind of the ironic factor that everyone forgets because, again, MAGA lived in a different reality. But COVID, lockdown, actually had a lot of people like pent up and were like not outside. This is the first thing I can remember of like everyone coming back outside during the lockdown. Okay, and again, when you watch George Floyd murdered on Facebook Live for 9 minutes and 36 seconds, or 9 minutes and well over 9 minutes. I don't have the exact time in my brain now, but it was at least 9 minutes and some seconds. And the entire world saw that happen. Okay, and then you're out there, and then you're getting tear gassed and flashbanged, and then the night prior, the press were out there getting tear gassed and flashbanged. We've already had multiple viral police murders in Minnesota. So it really set up for, what happened and why people went out there and did property damage and rioted and went stupid. I condemn all that, though. I don't support burning down buildings and taking your anger out on the neighborhood. The police killed George Floyd, not fucking the local businesses that were also trashed. There were corporate businesses like Target raided, but then there were also local businesses that are gone now, that are just not even there anymore on Lake Street. So, yeah, the amount of effort that went into teaching, because that's what happened immediately after these riots, was the activist community really tried their hardest to be like, okay, this is what actual peaceful protesting is, and marching and signs or organizing or, putting more effort into things that will actually help and not burning buildings down, because that doesn't do anything. It actually doesn't. So the whole rest of the year, which again gets propagandized by MAGA and everyone for saying, oh, it was a mostly peaceful protest. The year was mostly peaceful, overwhelmingly peaceful. This was a week long. This lasted like 6 days, 6 days and some change. On the 7th day, it all rose again or whatever. But the 7th day, you had the police and you had some religious gathering. And it really kind of became, right after that moment, it became just marching, and people in Minneapolis and the Twin Cities just marching, and for the first time, because people were peacefully protesting for the first time back then. I never done it before. Or like we were in the square overnight. Let me try to find one. Reporting from George Floyd Square. This was in October. March of 2020. There you go. And this was, I got way more views on the riot stuff right away, and my following kind of fell off because I stuck with the peaceful protests more. There wasn't nothing else to cover anyways. It's not like there was continuous riots, actually. It was that first week, and then, yeah, it was bad that first week, but the rest of the summer, all the way through the year, was like this. It was literally like this, like you see with the ICE protests now, right? Almost the same shit. You got the truck, the loudspeaker. It's a little bit more organized now, right? Because people have been doing it now for a long time, but at least 6 years in a row now since then in the Twin Cities. But this was the majority of the year. This was 6 years ago in the middle of 2020, when a bunch of right-wing lies about the protests and calling them riots all the time and the summer of love and blah, 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 little stupid slop bullshit propaganda. Because the truth is, there were more overwhelmingly peaceful marches the majority of the year. The majority of the year. More. But that week of riots, it's what sticks with MAGA. That's what sticks with them. I have way more. I have like the entire streams uploaded. I don't know why I can't find them on here. Yeah, this is 4 hours long. This is the 5th precinct. Like, there's my entire streams from that time are uploaded. They're not really organized. George Floyd Square, June 6th, 2020. We were just like in there hanging out.
Someone's speaking. We're gonna walk over and listen.
We deserve better. We deserve what?
We were just like in there. The same shit you see like when you watch Zach X or other right-wing weirdos today drive past George Floyd Square and be weird. They were nowhere to be found for hours and hours that we were out there when shit was actually real. And like when the police would come and fuck with the, because everyone out there was out there at their own risk, and then the police would come by. I think that. They all come around when after the shit's over, so they all drive through there now acting like, well, look at all, but none of them were anywhere when it was raw as fuck, and like the square wasn't even a thing yet until like then, or like the chop zone in Seattle, Washington, went there too. That's in The Last of Us. This is all in The Last of Us. Look at the puppies. Look at the Antifa terrorists. Antifa terrorism from 2020.
Traction that the streamers are doing here. I'll reply to opinions.
And then people wonder why I changed my political beliefs. Because what right-wing media was saying and then what I was literally seeing with my own eyes out in these places were two different things.
Here in Chop.
You know, play with the dogs in the chop zone. Do you have that? Oh, we're getting food.
String is super tight. But shout out. Stabilizer?
Yeah. Who was I talking to? Oh, Sol Luna. He's still streaming
around tonight until we start marching. That's okay. I'll just keep reading comments and interacting with.
Walking around and the people there with couches in there.
We don't
This is so they had the George Floyd Square, which was an autonomous zone, and you also had the Seattle zone too, which was also autonomous, which is way bigger than George Floyd Square too. This took up like multiple city blocks, whereas the square, which still exists and it still has reverence there, where traffic flows through it. Is there anything left of the Chop Chaz zone? Do you have any like a memorial there? Because it was literally like multiple city blocks. That's from 2020. Yeah, Portland peaceful marching taking place is all there. Look like an ICE agent, Jesus.
Cool.
Remember when MAGA thought this look was cringe? Wearing his mask. Jesus, what was I doing? Yeah, what shit? Calm down, dude. Don't show this to the feds. They'll think I'm an ICE agent and think I'm one of them. MAGA in 2020, woke, wearing a mask. MAGA now. We love that. We love masks and looking like you don't know who you are. Actually, it's so wild. They're hypocrites. I told you that's you'll just get lost in a hypocritical battle. I said that earlier in the stream. A battle of losers. So yeah, right outside right from Status Coup, they see the feds out there. You guys saw it though. We'll be out there tomorrow. You guys will see masked feds looking like I was in 2020, just like that. But that guy's gonna crazy. I was wearing what I could to be safe from COVID. Look at everyone standing. So look at the social distancing. We're so social distanced. Look at I love that though. Stay away from me. Stay the fuck away from me. Look at that. Everyone's in their own little circle. Hell yeah. Can we go back to that again actually though?
And we've been given permission. It looks just
Seattle. Seattle was cool. Well, that's Portland actually. Sorry, Portland's cool obviously too, but Seattle and Portland. What is this one? This is on my birthday. My birthday's on July 19th, so here I am in Portland on my birthday in 2020. I think we got fucked up bad. I was like bleeding and shit. I remember that. Did we get tear gas and shit here?
Wisconsin's kind of a boring. I want to hang
guys.
What was I was talking shit on Wisconsin?
I'm trying to figure out where this dude is. Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you. Happy birthday. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Hit your
I had thought we got tear gassed and shit that night. I thought we did. Maybe it's in like part 2 or something. Either way. Okay. Well, you guys can all look at all that rabbit hole now, going down the old streams. But yeah, so, Mercado Media started 6 years ago this week. I'll make some posts and stuff. But like, it'd be one thing if maybe that's all I did and then kind of left it at that. But, we got a lot going on. There's a lot. There you go.
Decoration Day knew what we know on this Memorial Day.
We got that going on. We got this guy. And it's ironic because in 2020, Trump was president. Trump's president again. And I feel like we're in like what 2020 was like without the COVID. And with the feds from Portland, because the federal agents in Portland were doing everything you see these ICE agents doing right now. And they were grabbing people and the jump out boys, we called them, and the Enterprise rent-a-car. Well, we'll pick you up. It was memes and everything. There was memes and everything around it. Dark memes, obviously. But that's what it was like in 2020. And we saw that in Portland because there's a port city and the federal troops. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I had seen that then. Video game expert and developer calls 007 woke trash. Good. I'll be playing it tonight. It's already scheduled. Fuck. Good. I can't wait to play. Give me all of the woke trash. I will play all of it. That's another reason. You guys gotta. Okay, so can I be honest? I gotta be honest. You guys, because a lot of people also ask, why was I right wing? Like, how could that be possible? This niche of entertainment alone provides a lot of politics, actually. Video games. Okay, you might not think that. You might be like, video games? Nah, that's lame. I don't do that. I don't play games. I don't play those. I don't play that crap. But like, a lot of the culture war and a lot of that is fought in video games. And a lot of right-wing, like anti-trans messaging, a lot of red pill bullshit comes from reviews of video games. Okay? And so, because I love video games and I play them all the time and always have, that kept me in like when I was younger, in my 20s, it kept me in a false reality of like what it really was. Because even then I'd play these games that were called woke trash, and I'd play them and I'd be like, there's really nothing wrong with the game. And the game actually plays well. You don't like that you can make pronouns on your character, really? Because you can put they, them as your pronouns, so the game is woke trash? Or like there's a female protagonist or something. Or like that was the biggest one, was like there was women as like a lead character in the video game. And then that would like, oh my God, this is leftist agenda. And like it's a whole battle of politics on video games. And if you don't know that, that's fine. Don't give yourself more stress to think about. But that's a big factor into why I was the way I was because my entertainment, and it's coming from the same people that will say, keep the politics out of the blah, blah, blah. Keep the politics out of the sports. Keep the politics out of my games. Keep the politics out of the blah, blah, blah. But they're the ones that inject it, actually. Because at the end of the day, like in Forza 6, you can have pronouns for your driver. Okay, cool. That's it. You can have it as your driver. Done. Is the racing game good? Does the cars drive good? Does the graphics good? Is it good? I don't know. I don't care. But then you got the right wing, which again kept me in that stupid culture war shit, that will like make a whole content niche around how fucking, well, there's a black girl in 007. Oh, it's a woke trash. This is more leftist agenda. And just keep people fighting that. And that's why there are a lot of people in this country that you wouldn't think are like right wing or conservative, because they don't come out as like that. But they're caught in entertainment, political culture war niche things, because they watch podcasts or they watch sports or they watch other things or their movies. You guys should know about the Hollywood, left right paradigm, and like movies come out and they're called woke trash, or like you know, and all that. The same shit happens in video games. The same exact thing. Every time something new comes out, the right wing has to attack it and figure out how there's a trans person in it, or there's a woman in it, or a black person's in it, or whatever, and then they call it woke garbage. And then they have big followings or whatever, and then their followers will like shit on the game and then tank it on Metacritic or whatever. It's stupid. But that's the culture war. And that's what the right wing fights all day. That's their main fight, is the culture war. Not like, can I have affordable groceries? Can my gas prices be lowered, please? No, they don't actually care. They care about if there's a trans person in James Bond. I swear to God, that's it. But we're playing this woke trash tonight at 7:15. Especially, I'm glad I'm starting early because we're leaving tomorrow. And I can't wait, dude. I fucking love... Listen, I love James Bond. That shit goes so hard. I've always been a James Bond fan. That shit is like, I love that. I love James Bond. Diehard fan. So I'm really, really excited about this game tonight. New James Bond game. It's like, it seems like it's going to be an origin story. I don't know how you call James Bond woke trash at all, period, given like everything James Bond is and does, and it's kind of like a womanizer too, and you know, you could argue misogyny, but like it's just kind of the character, right? Like, I don't know. Whatever though. That's woke trash now. Okay, that's what woke trash is. But whatever. Or like guns and action and whatever, bro. I don't care. That's why I'm glad I've left that behind. Because you have to spend more time arguing why James Bond is woke trash instead of like, is the game good? Does the character move? What's the character movement like? Is the music score good? Is the physics good? Is the performance well? I have a 4090. Does it run well on my GPU that I have? You know, am I gonna have frame stuttering? What's the set like? That's all. That's what I care about. Was the story good too? The narrative is the narrative written well? Does it have good writing? Do the characters have good voice acting? That's what I care about. Not if it's like, oh no, trans person's in the game. Oh no, I can't play it. Sounds like a you problem. Sounds like a you problem. And also, they're like, since the beginning of time, like for the incels that don't want to see women in their video games, there have been countless legendary women in video games that we have all played since like I was a kid, right? Lara Croft and Tomb Raider. I'm playing that one forever. Then you had name them in the chat too. Newer ones. Horizon. Okay. You got Horizon Zero Dawn, which I'm not really like a big I don't really like her character that much, but I mean, you know, mainline female character in many legendary games that done really, really well. Okay. Some people really like the Horizon games. I like, for when it comes to Aloy, like she was a good character, but like I don't feel like she had enough character development. Like I feel like Aloy had this attitude and like it never really like changed. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but I understood where her attitude came from, but like I would have wished that would have like, maybe I haven't played the newest one, or at least not too much of the newest one, but she kind of has this underlying attitude that just makes me mad. But it's still a legendary character. You had The Last of Us, obviously, my Ellie. The Last of Us with Ellie, which I guess you could argue Joel, but not really. The main character is Ellie and not Joel. Okay. What else we got here? What else? Barbie. You got this one too. Massively known character, Metroid. In the Metroid series. Okay. Yeah, many. Well, the Resident Evil, like, are you talking about Claire Redfield and Resident Evil? Or who was I can't think of her one name now. Either way, we've had legendary female leads and characters in like games forever and ever and ever. It's not like a new age thing to have like a female lead character or like a woman or having a trans person in the game. Like, who cares? It's so like the people that spend time caring and finding the woke in it and How is this leftist agenda? That you spend more time doing that. You spend more time doing that than actually like playing the game and finding out if it's good. So I'm glad I'm at least well beyond that phase of my life. Also, for my gaming audience, I guess I found a couple funnies for you. So, if you guys play Forza, you should know about a certain bot, and I know Demise and a few others have a bone to pick with this bot. And I've been telling you guys that this is a big deal, and it's going viral on social media about and actually Bowie Knife has its own social media account. Okay, Bowie Knife has their own social media account now. Everybody's favorite Drivatar, because this Drivatar in Forza is a very, very aggressive bot. Like when you race against it, it like drives into you and tries to drive you off the road. Look at this one. Bowie Knife knocked him into the back rooms. Okay. Bowie Knife put out on Twitter a couple of days ago, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. I don't have any credits, but what I do have are a very particular set of skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. I will find you and I will ram you. So that's a direct threat. So when Demise says, dude, I feel like I'm being targeted, you are. Bowie Knife put it out on Twitter a couple of days ago. You guys just didn't see it. Yeah, actually look at. But not only that, we got here B Bowie Knife 99, just a guy with an Xbox. Buy Forza Horizon 5. Drive like you always do. The Drivatar system silently records every felony. Oh, is that really what it is? Is Bowie Knife just your worst driving? Forza Horizon 6 players keep running into an extremely aggressive AI driver called Bowie Knife 99. The Drivatar, known for constantly smashing other cars, causing huge crashes and ruining races for everyone. Even though many players find it frustrating, Bowie Knife 99 has turned into a popular meme. He is a villain. I told y'all. You guys think I was kidding when we were playing Forza. Rayman. Who is Bowie Knife? Rayman's trying to get to the bottom of it. Bring it, Rayman. You got Rayman fighting Bowie Knife. Oh, Bohemia Interactive. They're that's Arma and DayZ. They're tapping in to fight Bowie Knife. I fear no man. Insomniac. We don't talk about Bowie Knife. Thank you, Eli Lassetti. Thank you for the 5 gifted. So it's a big meme. Look at Warhorse Studios. I thought this was the funniest tweet I saw today. And it's so funny because obviously I love Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I played that game last year. That was like one of my games of the year. I wouldn't say Forza Horizon 6 will win game of the year. It's certainly a great game. Really good racing game. But it was really funny that to see this tweet in Kingdom Come Deliverance challenging Bowie Knife 99 to a fight. Gear up. But here's Bowie Knife 99 moving in 15th century Bohemia. This is only funny to like the 22 people of you that play this game, so I'm glad I'm doing this segment for you. Diana, when someone mentions Bowie Knife 99. We play all these games. See, if you don't know, if you're not in the loop on this and you want to be, you're going to have to come hang out on my gaming channel. I don't know what to tell you. Literally, if you have been watching my gaming channel, all of this should be funny to you. If you don't know and you're like, I'm not in on the inside joke, so I don't get it. Well, I don't know. Just come hang out, maybe. Come hang out. Wow, they put Bowie Knife 99 in first place. Drift lobbies. Idea is to ram everyone off course. Am I right? See you there. The other funniest one I saw was, hold on. Where is it? Count your days. Someone purposely rammed the Bowie Knife off the road. Hey, there you go. Getting my revenge on Bowie Knife 99. These underhand tactics will not be tolerated. Everybody just smoking Bowie knife now. You guys are pissing Bowie knife off. It's even funnier now when you watch my gaming channel and you hear Demise, fucking bots. They're just taking me out, man. And then here you know for a fact that Bowie knife is tweeting. Not only is the game aware of that happening, but they have a Twitter account for it. Everybody's smashing Bowie knife. There seems to be a game-wide hunt at the moment. Revenge will be mine. Oh my god. Outstanding. Another victim of Bowie knife. Outstanding. This has to be the funniest one where you literally get sent out of the map. Bowie knife always gets the last word. Poetry in motion. What is he coming flying? I don't know how they program that bot to be like this. So he literally flies into the car that crashed him. Jeez, dude, it's bad. If you play this game, you should know who Bowie knife is. If you don't, you're not playing the game enough. Like, it is bad. A Reddit user has gone viral after leaving his Steam Deck on the roof of his car and having it ran over by the vehicle behind him. What the fuck? Bowie knife did it. Really enjoying Forza Horizon 6, but I cannot stand cross-country events. Getting taken out by Bowie knife. And that stupid fucking... You literally battle that bot. They'll fight you. And you know they're mad and letting it happen because they haven't hit the rewind button yet. So they're just watching their car tumble. Hang it in the Louvre. The Louvre. However the fuck you say that word. I have a Minnesotan accent. Leave me alone. So anyways. Good times. Need nice day to wash the car. Good God. Is that what that thing looks like in real life? Pretty good at hide and seek. That's funny. That's funny stuff. But it's funny if you know about it. So you should come hang out at my gaming channel so you can... All right, y'all. Well, I think that's where we can end it tonight. So, again, if you missed it, plan is to get to New Jersey tomorrow. Well, the plan is, like, it's happening. Like, that's happening. And I'll update you guys. I'll probably do actually a stream talking about it before I start my gaming stream tonight. I might do a safety meeting stream and we'll talk about it. So I might do another stream here coming up quick, but it'll be titled that. More people will watch. Just watch. This is how it works. This is how social media works. So I'll probably do another stream here in like a half-hour safety meeting stream. Talk about the plan. Get some more support. All that good stuff. So yeah, I'll be out in New Jersey tomorrow, guys. So we'll be out covering on the ground because chat decided for me today. New Jersey ice. We'll be at the Delaney Hall. What's going on? We're going to go find out. And what is going on out there? Delaney Hall in New Jersey. Okay, guys. So I'll do a stream again. So I got a couple streams coming up tonight. Again, one more in like a half hour, just telling everybody about this and that I'm going there. And then we got this woke trash coming up. If you guys want to watch some woke trash tonight. It's a little unknown title and IP called James Bond 007. I don't know. But the right wing's calling it woke trash and trying to cancel it. So I hope you guys can come support this little unknown, little cute IP of 007 It's so our society's sick. Whatever. But James Bond, it looks cool. You guys want to come watch that later? So I got a stream I'll do in a little bit, and then this is coming up at 7:15. And I'll be playing it in 4K. So come check it out. All right, guys. See you guys in the next one. Coming up here, we'll talk about the trip, and then I'll see you guys in New Jersey tomorrow. All right, guys. Like and subscribe. Support the stream. Become a member. All that good stuff. Appreciate you. Join the Discord. Join the Facebook group. The Renegades are still continuing to grow. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good rest of your afternoon, guys. Take care.